Hello, chat. I got a little bit of a sleepy voice, not gonna lie. Fucking, I think these hours might be kicking my ass. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. They are fucking me up big time. Holy shit. What's up, guys? You can kind of tell I just rolled out of bed, to be honest. Fucking yeah, man. So fucking it's a really busy week right now at work. I had to fucking I was doing some file management. So I had to listen to all the takes, watch like read the script, and then see if the lines matched up with what scene to match them together. It was not fun. Not fun.
Mercury celebrates 13 months of membership. More money for funny stream man.
Cloudy, I unironically don't know how you get up from your bed when you work like the fucking nutbag shifts you work. I don't know how you do it. Oh my god. So I gotta be honest, chat. I did not care that there was a content cop coming. I didn't care. So a few things, because this involves the H3 drama that's been existing for the last forever and caused Nicholas the Oreo to get an infinite money glitch, right? So I didn't really follow any of it. I don't really care about most of it. Um, the general commentary consensus is that Hasan is a piece of shit. My personal feelings about Hasan are that like I don't really think he truly would expose a lot of the values that he has if someone as self-righteous and with as much clout as him appeared on the other side of the room with the clout pointed at him. You know what I mean? Like if there was a Nega Hassan who was anti Hassan with the same clout capital as Hassan, I doubt we'd see Hassan say the things Hassan says. Right? I think a lot of his beliefs would magically disappear if in that position. If there was a what? Yeah, it's and it's just it's annoying because like it's one of those things where it's like the listen, not not to Luigi post, right? But when we talk about class, sorry, gonna use my art degree here for a second. When we talk about class in Marxist theory, and Hassan talks about how the bourgeoisie are keeping down the proletariat, but Hassan speaks as if he's part of the bourgeoisie, or part of the proletariat, excuse me. It very much comes off as when you guys
Cutie Trash
revolt,
TM
I'm one of the
celebrates
good
18
ones.
months of membership, 2 pregnancies of membership or shit let's
You know,
go.
when we start striating degrees of wealthy individual from like the Marxist perspective, it still means that you're above the proletariat and you directly receive the benefits of the bourgeoisie, right? So it doesn't matter if there are people richer than Hassan. It matters that Hassan is part of the 1%, right? So it doesn't matter the difference in capital. It just matters that he controls the capital. And he does control the capital because there ain't no way he lives in a fucking mansion and then doesn't own the property, or he doesn't have employees, or he doesn't have a bunch of other stuff. And I understand that it's like, oh, well, it's like union made or whatever. Like a lot of these things don't matter for like a classical like Marxist theorist. Unfortunately, all the Marxist theorists are actually all unemployed and don't contribute to society. So we don't actually need to care about their opinions or beliefs. Diesel is a commie. No, no, because I own a business. Okay, I own a business, so I'm not. Diesel cop roleplay win. After the melon stream, right? He doesn't own a mansion, dude. He bought a $1 million home in LA. That's single family house. Oh shit. I'm actually wearing the uh, God. Never goon. Right. Yeah, so here's and so that's my opinion on Hassan. I feel like he doesn't really, I don't know, man. I don't think you need like a poor person because the only way, listen, if we're talking about the whole like theory of it, so allow me to be a little more wax philosophical for a second, right? The only way you're gonna get revolution is with these rich people who have the time to like sit around and think about these ideas, right? It's just what it is because they have the time to do it. Fucking the working class don't usually have the time to do it. Um,
Hey, The 1% is still the 1%. I know they didn't get that money ethically, that's why I hate them. Also Hasan because he's Hasan.
Right? But it's just like, also, I think Hassan's just kind of cringe. I kind of wish Hasan, like, I honestly, like, you know, the political philosophy aside, I think Hasan would be a lot better if he just was like more willing to muck around in the dirt, right? It's I see it a lot from these like guys where they're just like, I'm better. I'm better. I don't get into that drama frog stuff, but then they totally do. You know, just to, like, admit it. Like, we all do that. Okay? Like, they all do that. Man, I don't know why somebody is coming into this chat and even bothering to defend Hassan. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, go waste your time somewhere else. Don't right? Like, I think you can be rich and espouse the message, but like it was a weird watch. Good luck. Yeah, and defending him to Cloudy is very funny. That is very funny. Anybody who's caught up on the lore. What are you stupid dude? This chat, you're a fucking stupid idiot, chatter. What are you talking about? As if there hasn't been both people on sides doxing people. Are you blind? Are you blind? Just cause I haven't been covering it doesn't mean I don't like pay attention to what's happening. Like, are we really gonna play around where it's like people being like as if any of these people are better than the other? There's a lot of shit I could say about Ethan before I even get into this, right? Not to be like a resident fence sitter here, but like like Ethan is incredibly fucking reactionary. Like, I don't know why he bothers responding or getting involved in things that aren't going to matter. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that Ethan Klein got into a podcast with Hassan and then is shocked about Hassan's political beliefs, as if they were going to be any different. Like, Ethan was being an idiot, just ignoring those things. You know? Ethan almost seems to deliberately put himself in positions that just like make it more dramatic for his own personal life. And it was just like, why the fuck are you even doing that? Like, even Ethan can admit, like, oh, you know, he's being like overly reactionary and stuff like that. Yeah, you are. And you're just giving them a win, right? Like, I think Hassan should have sat down and watched the quote unquote content nuke, but like, Ethan constantly begging hand over fist for it to happen. It's like, dude, fucking move on. Also, not the literal jumping onto Hassan's dick and then acting like Diesel's bad faith when he hasn't gotten to Ethan yet. Yeah, like I don't really have like this uber positive view of Ethan either. Like I think he has been incredibly reactionary through this whole thing. I think he's also been incredibly stupid to ignore Hassan's political beliefs when it was beneficial to him, when it was obvious that they weren't going to be on the same side about those things politically. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what? You're gonna stand with your face in the sand when it's beneficial to you? Hello? Like, what the fuck did you expect, dude? Like, everybody knows everything about Hassan and all the like bad things Hassan's done. So Ethan just relitigating those things, it was never gonna fucking affect him, you know? Right? But it's just like, dude, I don't like people, and it's always like streamers, dude. It's never like a guy who makes videos. You know, nobody ever gets in the chat and defends like Idubbbz. It's always another streamer because everybody's got some like crazy fucking parasocial relationship with their streamer. Like, also, by the way, right? Since we're on the topic of it, another thing, and I know I'm kind of like, speed running right now through the entire Ethan drama story, mainly because it's so political that I just didn't care to talk about it. But now that Idubbbz is here, I figured, I might as well just give like the speed run takes of it. The whole CPS stuff I think is absolutely ridiculous and like going way too fucking far. It's just like people are just assuming they know what goes on in a home. I think people that are involved with declines, if they know of something that's going on, then they should do something about it, but it's not the responsibility of some random glup shitto on the internet to get involved in somebody's personal family life, especially when you don't know how they raise their kids or what the kid raising is like or anything like that. It's just like really, really fucking ridiculous because it's so like that's such a personal thing. Which, by the way, on top of that, as somebody who has experience with people who work in CPS, there's like two or three caseworkers to like over thousands of families, especially in really big counties. So when a bunch of people call in and make reports like that, you're like absolutely overwhelming the system with people who are like already swamped with work and see like heinous stuff on a day to day. So like when you go in and you add all this extra stuff to their plate, they're gonna like be really overworked, right? These are people who work hard. I assume obviously there's bad CPS workers. I assume if you work in the field, you realize that you're not gonna make a lot of money. It's like you do it because you actually give a shit about the issues that are on in there. So chat's going to be rough this stream, huh? Yeah. When your immediate focus on Hasan, you're unintentionally defending and qualifying Ethan's actions to equate their behaviors is ridiculous. Well, I can't say I dislike both of them. What are you stupid? uh, Jesus. Oh my god. What game are you playing in your new vid? Please tell me. It wasn't me playing it. It was Ash's gameplay. Falgi really wants to go at him. I'll let Falgi on if he's here. I'm in waiting. Or I'm in live if you want to hop in waiting. uh, and I'll explain my thoughts on Ian in a second, but I'll let Falgi in since he's a little guy. Wow, and then he's not in. Many such cases. Many such cases. You got a taste of yelling at someone and now it's over. Hello, Falgi.
Hello, boss.
Hello.
Hello, boss.
Unfortunately, Hasan Twit is gonna be really mad tonight.
Okay, Hasan Twit could be mad. Hello, Hasan Twit. You know who I am. It's very nice to see you. Yeah, this is like a weird thing. I'm gonna like just have to yell at somebody now and yell at the random chatters who are popping in because you guys are so fucking stupid that you are doing the bad Hasan defense that everybody calls you cringe for. Again, we have discussed the Ethan shit at length and why we've wanted to avoid it. Hey, people in the chat, I would like you to go to Diesel's channel and see how many times he's covered this topic. Is it 0? Fucking magical. I get it. I get it. You pop in, you see the thing. By the way, I'm the one that made the stream title because I thought it was a tee-hee funny time. And yes, I was in Hasan's community. I still don't hate him that much. I think he could be cringe. I think he should have probably watched the content nuke. I'll be very honest. I think this is a little spoiler, I guess. I don't give a fuck. I think him being in this content cop video actually is the worst idea that could have ever happened. Because it delegitimizes this entire video as a smear campaign against his former co-host. Now, I've openly said that I think Ethan is a rug puller. He pulls the ladder, everything that he has built for fair use, he wishes to tear down because it's being used against him. It is stupid. It's actually annoying. But you cannot like specific parts of both of them and still come out of this literally not supporting a genocide. I don't know where we have to draw the line. It frustrates me because I don't understand to what point is saying, hey, it's really cringe that these two rich people are fighting each other. Well, I don't know. Two very large countries who doesn't give a fuck if those two people just disappeared off the face of the earth, JFK style, tomorrow, are doing whatever they do, but YouTuber drama. And I would say this to my friends in the space because I have. I've said this to people bigger than me. I don't give a fuck. It's not moving the needle. It's just not. And the content cop shit is cringe.
Dude. The first thing that went through my head when I saw it was an Ethan Klein content cop is how will disinfective situation in Gaza?
It's like it's just like crazy. And it's just like it's just a crazy time. It's like I listen, I understand.
No guy.
I get.
You have to reinforce my
I'm
personal
actively
idea
mad
about this
at the
one
United
rich
States government
streamer
for
that
supporting a genocide. I've been very open about it. But I'm not going to sit here and say, Hasan and Ethan, this will finally bridge the divide. I swear right now, it's going to fix the problem. It's just like, I get it. You can be mad at Ethan. You can also be mad at the fact that CPS was potentially called. None of us have an answer. I also believe Ethan's a little crazy for saying a Reddit called CPS on his family. I think that's fucking schizophrenic. I also think it's hilarious that he's losing appeals in appellate court. I think his lawsuit against Noah Samson is a lawsuit, and if he loses it, it's going to be insane.
That'll be really funny. I think that's going to be very hard for him to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the problem is that Ethan gets into the mud just as much as the next person, so somebody saying something ridiculous isn't going to carry as much weight.
Yeah. And like, listen, I'm not, listen, Hasan members, people from Haas Twit, Haas Cord, whatever the hell you were from, I'm not mad at you. Shit, I don't think anybody's mad at you. I think you got to just see the forest for the trees. If you truly believe that Israel should stop what it's doing and Palestine should be free, continue to do what you're doing, continue to show up, continue to call your local officials, continue to bother the hell out of those fucking people. Guess what? Their work numbers are public for a reason. Show up at rallies, go to things, support unions, do all of that. I promise you, hating Hasan or Ethan Klein is not going to move the needle. I don't agree with the H3
Well, actually,
supporters
you
either.
see, I hate Ethan Klein because I actually hate the Jews.
You fucking ass. You fucking
Oh, sorry,
ass.
I forgot. I meant to lampshade it. You know, it's just that they own every single banking system. Some guy on Twitch told me. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Finally
God.
said it. No, let it be known I was being jokey. That was a joke. I was pretending to be one of the average Hasan viewers.
God, I hate you. But at the end of the day, it's like I think that there's a more nuanced take if you just look at the fact that this entire content thing came out of Ethan being a bad businessman about Hasan's political takes. I personally have sat on the side, and Diesel can tell you, we've had private conversations about it. I have constantly sat on the side that H3H3 is pissed off because he couldn't garner an audience that he really wanted. He thought Hasan was a bridge to an audience that he wanted, that he saw money from, and it did not work because it was like, this guy is more trouble than he's worth. That has been my opinion, that Ethan has been a bad business person, and that this is what happens when two business people fall out of a partnership. There's been a lot of like personal shit thrown. I don't think that it's right if, and I say if, snarkers called CPS. I still like to believe that that's not the case. I will be honest.
I
I'm
would
just
sooner
gonna-
believe it was one of the bread tubers that did it, because it seems much more committal. I don't think most Redditors commit to anything.
Yeah. Listen, I do think there's like the other thing too, and I'm going to be very, very honest. The people in Hasan's orbit don't help him when they discuss having a bounty on someone. Listen, you don't talk about putting a bounty on someone's head as a joke. It's just not good faith, because what you're doing is you're providing the other side to win. Delzy, I swear I'll get to the. I'll start my other stream later, but this matters to me.
Yeah, Fauci, you know you have a stream to.
Yeah. The dog fucker stream. Thanks for reminding me, asshole. Fucking Beckett's killing me. No, but this matters to me because I'm putting my stream back because I feel bad because I do take Diesel's mod community from time to time. But B, more importantly, I'm a part of that community. Or I was a part of that community. Like,
listen, the person in chat who's like, he's done things. Well, yeah, I know he's done things, but it's about what you do. Okay, it's great that he does things. It's good to be active. Being a chatter is not being active. And two, when you come into chat and you yell at me and say all these insane things, guess what I want to do? Immediately take the opposite of whatever position you have, because I know it'll make you annoyed. Okay?
But like, I think the bigger thing is Hasan does things. I know he does things. Hint, I know some of the people who have worked with him in the past. Hint, hint. Then his actions speak louder than his words. It's why people are complaining about the content cop. It's why people complain about him. I don't agree with every take. He does show up. There will be people on the internet that says he doesn't do things. He does show up. He does raise money. Those people are wrong. People say it out of their ass because they don't like Hasan. You can like Hasan. You can not like Hasan for a myriad of reasons. What Diesel's trying to say is that there's nuance to it, but the problem is that this is becoming. It's over. It's, to use a Dieselism. It's past the Overton window of cringe, and now it's just the most annoying thing on the internet.
The Overton window of cringe.
Again, Quirk, you don't need to answer everybody though. Don't answer everybody, dude.
Yeah, you're just spurging out in my chat. Like,
Bro, I came on here for you, dude, to show you that there are people in this audience.
like I don't care.
share
God
your
bless
beliefs.
you if you got strong political beliefs and you're able to put 10 toes down to do something about it.
You fucker, you fucking ass.
Okay, I think that's good. Talk about the things that are passionate to you. Do that. But I think, in the long term for things, you don't win any fights by being crazy. You need to actually just be really reasonable and talk with people, right? Yeah. I can say that I don't like both of these people for different reasons and it both annoys me. But if you try to shut me down because I haven't gotten to it, well, then I guess I've decided to pick my side, and it's whatever side I have the most stocks in. Shout out to Lockheed Martin and their Patriot missile system.
Wait, I thought we were getting Russian money. What the fuck happened to the Russia's money?
It's both. It's called I'm double dipping. Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm going to an El
too?
Salvador prison next week.
I know. I'm still waiting for Mr. Beast's cash to finally check. It's been a little bit. The 25K he gave me has the check bounced recently. Maybe he's not good for it anymore.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
Opinions on Bad Empanada. I don't care about him. He's not popular.
I barely even know who that is. I've just heard the name before. That's how not plugged into this I am.
you know, you know, his opinions. Beckett has opinions. Go ask Beckett.
Exactly. Go to somebody else. I'm like the normal guy Andy streaming about this, okay? I haven't dedicated like 60 hours a week to this.
Oh my god. This is funny, man.
I got like normal things to worry about, man. I see Ethan Klein and fucking Hasan arguing on the internet with the Ian Jomha here, and I'm just like, oh my god, a bunch of people I don't like are yelling. That's it.
It's like, I don't know. It's also the thing of just be normal for like 20 seconds and create like opinions on it. Have you actually seen Diesel, have you seen any of the video yet?
No. I saw a short clip of Ian dancing in the back of a Hasan stream doing a Fortnite dance, and I went, all right, buddy. That time on the internet has passed. It's a little cringe.
Oh, it is cringe. I know. Well, I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. I just wanted
yeah,
to just...
I know I've taken you away from your stream, but I needed a resident Hasan guy to come here.
Listen, it's fine. I don't care. I just like the... Oh, hey, look, you hit the goal, Diesel.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Thank you, guys. Clearly, I'm gonna need it in my defense fund against the Hasan twit.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Again, I think that if you're a part of Hostwit, it is definitely okay to feel annoyed by Ethan Klein. I'm annoyed by Ethan Klein, but I'm annoyed by him for similar but much different reasons. Like I said before, he is pulling up the ladder. We talked about, the Noah Samson thing is going to be very hard to prove. And if it ever goes to court, and shout out to Killjoy for saying this, because if that ever goes to court, they have to legally identify what the fuck a genocide means. It's never going to court. No judges, in my opinion, I don't think any judge is ever going to fucking want that one. That's insane. And maybe it does. Maybe I'm fucking wrong. I ain't a fucking lawyer.
Go to the ops files. You go listen to them.
Yes. Oh yes. Ops. You know, we hit 1K. Big ups to Daddy Diesel. We are his orbiters. We will always be his orbiters.
That's crazy.
You know, one day we'll all ride into the sunset and the glory, and the honor is yours, Almighty Father, forever and ever. Amen.
Yeah, what Axis said in chat. Hasan himself, as cringe as he is nowhere near as cringe as his community. Nothing has made me more frustrated about a streamer than a community. Start reading Reddit posts again. Yeah, it's like fucking Mizkiff is a good example. Every time I talk about Mizkiff, one of his homies shows up, or like one of his viewers shows up and says some of the most heinous shit imaginable to me. And I'm just like, why the fuck would I ever want to listen to Mizkiff if this is the way his audience acts to me? You know, I've been in shit with other people, or like I've talked with other people's communities who are like streamers or shit. And like their viewers have been good with me, but like occasionally like I'll cover a streamer and I'll just be harassed for like fucking weeks, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I hate this person now. Like, if this is the way your audience acts, like, I think I hate you. We talk about goblins gooning and have been promised a watermelon here. Sorry, I had to turn off YouTube alerts. It's all good, bro. I'm just trying to talk. Probably don't believe it, but I've liked your streams in the past. But I heard you talk about Haas before, and I just disagree. But it's cool. I'll dip. Hey, listen, I like you. It's okay, man. I get it. I don't expect all my viewers to agree with me. You know, some of them are regulars, and I disagree with them. And I've had like yap sessions about it. But you know, it's about being. It's about It's about a lot of. Politics is a battle of hearts and minds, and the best way to win a person over is with sugar and honey, not shit and doo-doo. There was like a really nuanced phrase there that I butchered. Anyway, You allowed dissent to foster people. Very brave. Progressive. Oh my god. So last thing, before I get onto it is Idubbbz. I used to like Idubbbz. I used to be a very big proponent of Content Cop, but I had some talks with other creators in the space, and I've changed my opinion on that. And this is an opinion that was a long time coming. I think many of us growing up didn't recognize how cringe Content Cop was when we were younger. Because when Content Cop came out, I was like, what? So we're talking like 2016. I was 18. I'm 27 now. It was a different time, a different place, but it was like totally different. And you know, I think a lot of the shit that was getting up with it was just it was kind of like it was more cringe than it needed to be. You know, I like the Tana Mojo stuff. Does anybody even remember what the Content Cop was, or do we all just remember the N-word F slur thing? Which, by the way, N-word F slur comes from Childish Gambino. Idubbbz didn't invent it. Childish Gambino said it first. Just saying. But I just think that you know a lot of it was just I don't, it's like a very cringe time on the internet, and I think we all looked back on it fondly and thought very highly of Idubbbz. But I think with the hindsight of being like a grown person, but like it's just kind of eh. Like the Leafy one, I guess was okay because Leafy was like a dick, but the like the actual content of it, like we see people these days that are like a billion times worse than Leafy could be, and they just go on, keep it on, you know. So it's just same thing with like the Keemstar one, where a lot of it just boiled down to the joke about the gnome stuff rather than anything that was reasonable. And Jinx was the only real one that got hit. Yeah, in my opinion, Content Cop worked like the best when it was actual like guys that were like up to no good, you know? Internet drama is pure bloodsport entertainment, doesn't really exist anymore. It's always personal. Yeah, everybody's got like some personal beef, right? It's never like entertainment for the sake of it. There's always like a personal angle, which it kind of sucks, right? But it's just like I might be a little late to this, but I heard you challenge Onision to a boxing match. That was literally I think you're like literally 8 years too late on that, but that did happen. It almost happened. He DM'd me a long time ago and he invited me out to his house. Could you imagine if I went to Onision's house? What a different world. I'd be dead. Yeah, I always feel like Ian's pretending. I think that's a good way to put it. I don't even know if it's spinelessness, but I feel like he's kind of always, and I don't know if this comes, if you understand what I mean when this comes through in the Content Cops, but it kind of feels like I don't really know what he values or what's important to him in his life. Like I would just like I always struggle with that, and with this in particular, I can't help but feel like like obviously it's personal, but then on the same breath, it's just like how like have you known Hasan for so long that you're gonna do a Content Cop on Ethan Klein? Like I feel like this is I would much rather those things between Ethan and Hasan just be worked out between them and himself, right? Like I just feel like Ian's kind of inserting himself right here, right now, because creator clash is on the line, right? But I can't really like I don't really care. I don't really care. Not to sound callous, but I like the political angle of it. I don't care. It's not issues I care about. I've talked about the issues I care about on this stream and my channel because those are things I care about. but this just isn't one of the ones I care about, mainly because if I talk about it in any regard, somebody somewhere says something horrible about me. So I might as well just take the position of I'm funded by Lockheed Martin. Um, or other crazy stuff where it's just like I just gotta be really particular about like what I say because somebody somewhere is gonna have like the largest personal gripe in human history about it. When in reality, I just kind of like think it's like they're being soy about it. Like I would just love it if Hasan watched a content nuke. I think Hasan's smart enough to be able to have responded to it on his own. Just like Ethan should stop. Like I can't believe Ethan like went into business with Hasan and was just like, I can't believe this happened. Like, what are you fucking stupid? Like you were just causing drama for yourself. You either did or didn't care about what his opinions were. Like you always knew what his opinions were. I don't know why you had to decide. And then Ian, I just feel like Ian's kind of chasing the recognition of other people who don't really matter, or that like he's a dog on a leash. I don't think Anissa is like responsible for all his behaviors, by the way, which I know is a really common thing, especially in commentary. I'm certain it has quite a role in it, but I don't think it's all of it. And I think he just wants to please people, and it just kind of comes off as dorky. But that's just like my opinion, man. Yeah, I did do a diss track on Onision, and it was terrible, which is why I got rid of it. uh, let me find the vidya. Was Filthy Frank in any major drama at the time? He's never really been in drama, but he's always been such a quote unquote problematic figure or whatever. Yeah, he's an adult making his own decisions at the end of the day. Yeah, it's like people put like Anissa Jomha as the mastermind behind Idubbbz. It's like, listen, I know women I know women be shopping, but like he's like in his 30s. Okay? Diorio has made a good point that Anissa has been around since the golden age of Idubbbz, so it's stupid to blame her for the shift. Yeah. Dude, okay, here's why Idubbbz is popular. Here's why Idubbbz got popular in the beginning. He said the N-word and he was irreverent about it, okay? And he was popular at a time when being irreverent was seen as good. But nowadays, you can't really sit around and drop N-word F-slur and have people not look at you sideways.
Destination, the beach is surprisingly dangerous. Consider.
Can we hear this? Yeah. Also, by the way, guys, dude, does Ian not look like a human embodiment of a fucking Ed Hardy t-shirt? He just looks like an Ed Hardy t-shirt came to life. All right. He looks like somebody fell in the bargain bin at Aeropastel in the mall. All right.
Our defense, like, actually,
Dude, Dollar Store Pete Davidson.
Hila's not a baby killer. Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his dog.
Yeah, people blame Anissa because his heel turn coincided with her becoming way more prevalent in this content. Yeah, I understand the sentiment to have, like, you know, your significant other in content, but I kind of have a feeling there was a lot of that Ian also wanted as well. I think a lot of YouTubers want their partner to also be, like, part of the content.
Dog is maybe too far because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people.
Yeah, like I feel like, I don't know, man. Right out of the gate, dude, like I always felt like in the past Content Cop was about like the content. You know what I mean? But I really feel like this one is about like personal relationships. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Ian was involved in this behind the scenes and there were things that we don't know about this story that happened in Discord channels that you and I are not a part of that helped spur this thing on. I saw somebody say that Hasan paid for this. I don't think that happened, as funny as that is. Right? But it's just like it's not the content. Like people went after Keemstar because of the content, right? Because Keemstar would just put like fake news in his shit and he would constantly do dumb shit with the drama alert content, right? Or Jinx, who is basically just re-uploading content without doing anything. Yeah, Ian should have stopped the content cop after the whole not wanting to spread hate thing. Exactly. I think he should have just retired the character. If he wanted to do a commentary video, do it. But like, let's not have all the pomp and circumstance of making it a content cop, because that brings with it a certain level of baggage that you yourself, Ian, admit exists, right? It's almost like there's a visual connection between this outfit, the word content cop, and what the content of the video is. But if he just did a commentary video without any extra bullshit attached to it, I don't think it would have fucking mattered, you know? There's something different about it.
What we do here is go back.
You want to get on Hasan's good side, though? I don't even think it was like, okay, obviously this is going to get on Hasan's good side, right? Just because of the personal beef associated with it, right? But also on the same breath, I think it's just opinions that Ian has. Yeah, by the way, I also think it's really funny that he's doing... Okay, guys. The N-word F-slur guy, who used to be a fan of Sam Hyde, is doing a video on a Jewish creator. I'm just saying. Dude, Ian puts on the content cop uniform, looks in the mirror, and then says the dreaded K word.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the Hasan broadcast coming to you live from a cloud.
By the way, I know the political tubers always talk about how much they don't like drama, but these motherfuckers, your audience loves drama. They love it, dude. It's so fucking funny. All right.
Day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. I have a very important announcement. I've finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's content nuke, and I'm not going to call it context puke as I normally do, because the reality of the matter is it was brilliant. Nothing was out of context. Everything was correct. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am a vicious anti-Semite.
I should also mention that I haven't watched a content nuke. That's how not plugged into the story I've been, and that has been my intention, because I just don't care. Okay, like I literally, every time I complain about Hasan, some person swoops in and assumes a bunch of things about me, and I'm like, motherfucker, you don't even know me, okay? To be fair, it's nothing world breaking. Yeah, somebody was nice enough to give me the spark notes of it at the time. And it was just like all stuff we all already knew about Hasan. And I'm just like, why are we relitigating this? Like, I kind of feel like we've reached like double jeopardy.
It's true. Most importantly, Ethan is more attractive than me, both physically and also mentally. I've been lying about everything, including my glasses. They're fake. He was right about that. That's not even in the content nuke. And he was right about that too. How did he know everything?
Everything I've learned about Hasan and H3, I've had to learn against my will. Yes.
How? Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, it's like, this is, are you fucking kidding me? I feel like this is the exact antithesis of what content cop is supposed to be. It's like I don't know. It's almost like Ian is wearing the skin of Ian from 5 years ago, dude. You know, it's just like dude, there better be some really indictable stuff about the content Ethan puts out.
Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is no longer...
Oh, yeah. I did see the thing where they were at TwitchCon and they were rating people, like, they were doing, like, the hummus thing with the Denims and Frogan and all of them. And they were putting Ethan at the bottom because he's a Jew. That's what they were doing, okay? That was just, like, they were just JQing, man. They were just JQing. The only people more hurt than the Jewish community is the gamers.
Dream, this is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Also, it's like Denims. Are you kidding me? Like, she, like, you know, for what it's worth, Hasan doesn't crack when his chat is asking him for things. Okay? But like Frogan or Denims, they all crack under the pressure of somebody, like, giving them shit.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up.
Zooms, anyone?
Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not gonna do a react content.
That's so cringe. That's so cringe, dude. Oh boy. Okay, alright, guys. Guys, imagine you were a younger zillennial to millennial who was really in on Fortnite when it was having its first peak. You know, it's like one of those moments. This is what that feels like. Like, I don't have a problem about the content of the video so far, but really, Fortnite,
I'm not going to lie,
L-Dance?
when I saw first Hasan appear I thought it was a belated, scary, April Fool's joke that was gonna be an hour-long Hasan stream highlight.
Yeah, chat.
I'm the same kid. Nobody's telling you to wake up, Ethan.
You know, I will say though, shout out to Zin keeping the white population in check.
I mean, I love Sabra hummus.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
Wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Dude, I get my hummus from a local deli. I will say though, everything bagel hummus. I don't care if it's factory made. That's just delicious. My roommates made a Zinwall. They have a nicotine addiction, and you should get them help. See, this can't be content. Okay, now I'm being cringe, but like, how can you be content cop with bisexual lighting? There's gonna be a Twitter account who will be mad about this.
All right. I didn't plan on making a content cop on H3. It sounds very stupid even saying that. H3 content cop, Idubbbz, Ethan Klein.
Yeah, dude, you can't even do a content cop because you were talking about how you had Trolls Remorse. How can you do Trolls Remorse and then do a content cop anyway?
Out of control. And then you should do a content cop on Hasan Piker. Content cop on Saga.
Okay, first of all. Oh my god, there's no way you're mentioning Sargon. All right, guys. First of all, Sargon of Akkad, are you guys fucking kidding me? Oh my god. You made up trolls remorse. There's no way. That's a real word, yeah. You know who else had trolls remorse? Fucking who's the bread tuber guy with the long videos? What's his name? Fucking that guy. Oh my god, dude. Which one? That's all of them. H-Bomber guy. Thank you, Manny. You're gonna have to be more specific. Is there that many? H-Bomb. Yeah, H-Bomb used to be a member of the Mediker forums. He used to be a little troller. Yeah, and then he had trolls remorse. All right. I don't want to be that guy. But Ian, if we're mentioning Sargon of Akkad, I think we might be out of touch. Either that or we might have some serious political brain rot, because Sargon is not only irrelevant, he's so irrelevant and bad that he killed an entire party in the United Kingdom.
Son of Acab. If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan. He's the one who fucking attacked first.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar.
Dude, this is a really bad day for people who think ear rape is funny, dude. Holy shit. I saw that one from Twitter, but I'm taking it. I'm taking that one.
The background, with his podcast, with what's been going on over the past couple of years. So Ethan, as you know, is a content creator who has a podcast where he says all sorts of outrageous...
You know what the worst part is, dude? Is like all these guys went from making content to just having a fuck-ass annoying podcast. All right, guys. Everybody's like, I want to be Howard Stern, but nobody's as funny as Howard Stern, so...
outrageous stuff. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's fucked up. He's had shows with all
dude,
sorts
Bo Black's shout out. Bo Black's mentioned. Did you see that, guys? Bo Black's?
Different controversial characters. He's had a show with Trisha Paytas. He's had a show with Hasan Piker. In doing so, he's gathered...
Yeah. He's had a show with Trisha Paytas, and it fell apart after they had a little yapping familial spat. And then he had a show with Hasan Piker, and it fell apart after a political spat. At the end of the day, they're really just both the same thing.
A ton of different audiences. Now, in his podcast with Hasan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers, you trans women. I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that.
See, you can't make political content on... I think, okay, here's my theory of everything. I'm going to be a little cuckoo bananas for a second. I don't think you can make political content on YouTube without going crazy. Okay? I don't think it's possible. I think you're bound to go crazy. I think it's like a Horcrux. Okay? I think something happens to your brain. And like some... Like the ghost of Karl Marx or Heinrich Himmler or Carl Schmitt or some Italian fascist that I don't remember the name of enter your mind, and it warps your reality, and you horseshoe theory into fame or absolute absurdity. You know, oh, Stalin, yeah, there's one. Mao, Pol Pot.
Until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. I would say that Hasan was
also shout out to Trisha Paytas. Not only did she win, but she's pregnant again, which means some other celebrity is about to die.
Very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Yeah, the Amazing Atheist put a banana up his ass.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Well, the dance he invented was so kick-ass.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that may be a
Yeah,
war.
wait a second. This is all the stuff that commentary people have said before. I will also say that, right? Where it's like, how did Ethan not know Hasan's political beliefs? Because he's been very vocal about them his entire time.
It literally is.
It was just eating the toppings. And the pizza looked like a burn victim.
Also, I know in this drama that people really, maybe because Ethan is Jewish, but I think it is because Ethan is Jewish, personally, right? Where they kind of flanderize his political takes on the Israeli-Palestine conflict into like one position, as because he's like Jewish, that he's like pro-Israel, but I think he's very been vocally not that as well. So it's not even like the difference. There's a lot of nuance in their difference, but the difference is less extreme than what the discourse on Twitter would lead you to believe.
I mean, it was all disgusting.
Can you put bets down on who's going to be sacrificed for Trisha's baby? The Pope. The Pope. Clip me right now. When Trisha Paytas gives birth to her baby, the Pope dies.
I don't know if you can make that joke in 2021.
Why?
It's insensitive to burn victims.
I think it's a good analogy.
I really hope that comes true. I can't wait to be like, dude, I can't wait for that to be like, streamer predicts the Pope's death.
It's a powerful image.
Ethan
Dude, do you guys see Pope Francis recently? That motherfucker's gonna die.
was not prepared for this. Ethan, the whole time, is more of the goof guy. And that's fine, you know? We don't expect Ethan to be an expert on the topic. Ethan was obviously caught in this tricky situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli, she served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel. On the other hand, he's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy. They follow Hasan.
God forbid the Jewish dude with the Israeli wife has mixed feelings about the Israeli-Palestine conflict.
Hasan is strictly...
Well, the thing is, it all would have been fixed if he had Toxic Yowie with Hasan. Imagine if they kissed.
Political streamer. So this is something they're very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
So this massive progressive audience that Ethan has, you know, adopted over the years, they're becoming increasingly critical of his position because now he's talking about it not on Leftovers, he's now talking about it on his podcast.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that. When you listen to Hasan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist, like crazy, like...
And, you know, as almost ignorant as Ethan seemed to have been to Hasan's politics, which is probably one of my biggest complaints against Ethan, is that he almost seemed to like deliberately ignore it for the purpose of courting clout. And again, I always need to buffet everything I say about Hasan by saying something about Ethan, because I know exactly how this drama goes. And I'm not, again, I don't want to be like fence sitter Andy, but I can sit here and say that I don't like both of them for different reasons, right? But I've definitely seen this, especially on Twitter, where the people involved in talking about the geopolitical issue of the Israeli-Palestine conflict and just like the nuances of it. If we're talking about the Twitter Andy, if Twitter leftists think that they are immune to conspiracy theories, they are not. Because when I joke about like, oh, the progressive left thinks that the Jews rule the world, I have definitely seen people on Twitter be like that, and I'm just like, brother, have we not been doing this for the past like 20 years with the other side? Like, what is going on here?
Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys.
The other day, BB fired.
I'm actually sitting on that part of the fence that's like a big pipe with like a pointed top. I'm impaled right through the ass. It's crazy right now.
A really good guy did it. a lot of people are pissed about.
So Ethan is having this back and forth with his liberal audience, leftist people.
Yeah, he's married now, has businesses, runs a very popular show with his best friend, Max Mofo Def 1. Hey, man. He's still young. He can make a really big mistake any day now.
Online, progressive content creators, Hasan, all of these different people. He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits, and everybody thinks this guy's awesome, apparently. Even though he looks like Millhouse, fucking dork.
Okay, that guy does look like Millhouse.
Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil.
I miss Ethan pre-Ozempic, personally. I miss Fat Ethan was better.
Hateful fucking. And I'll say it and I'll double.
You are not immune to propaganda is a warning that applies to everyone clearly. No. You are not immune to propaganda. Only applies to people that I don't like.
Double down on it. And people. Oh, no.
No,
not go there.
And it's all culminated, at least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me. Since Ethan and
I
Hasan's
said this
falling
on
out.
the server, but I genuinely believe if US money wasn't involved, people would care about Israel-Palestine as much as they care about the average African warlord.
I don't think I disagree with that. I think there are people who are bleeding hearts, but I think the topic would be a lot less discussed if there wasn't so much money flowing through it. Dude, shout out Coney 2012. Dude, you guys remember that? Holy shit. That's crazy. Can we get a content cop on Coney 2012?
And keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things.
Guys, you got to understand. Okay, again, Ethan has engaged in the harassing behavior, right? But to sit here and talk about how Hasan or Hasan's like homies, because Frogan and Denim are homies. Frogan is a mod, all right? To talk about them like they don't harass people is like absolute glupshitto insanity, all right?
Eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown
I also did Ian even reach out to Ethan in private, or was this just something he did? Like, did he just like whole hog it like out of nowhere?
a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hasan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like Idubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like this tweet. It's stupid.
That's stupid. That's a funny tweet. That's a funny. Well, it's not okay. It would have been funny if it was just one option. Okay, but then it was like cringe, and he needed to be like vape nash. You dated the joke, Idubbbz. All right, this was almost there. It was like 80% of the way there.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism, and also he's way out of my
Yeah, but I think you guys should fight. That would be funny.
weight class.
He didn't like that, but fucking sometimes you gotta just throw something out there.
Coney 2012. Next you mention Ron Paul.
Guys, I have 10 ways that Jeb Bush can still win.
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in.
Yes, Ian reached out to Ethan, and Ethan didn't want to talk unless they openly disavowed a friend of theirs for saying Ethan's kids were eating shit. Boy. Oh, boy. Well, what was Ian doing? Was he like clapping and being like, yes, 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 Ethan's kids do eat poo-poo. Right? Because it's one thing to be friendly with somebody who's like in beef with somebody else that you know. Like, that should be fine and appropriate, and you shouldn't ask your adult friends to break up a friendship because they're friends with somebody that you're in an internet beef with. Right? Versus like Ian sitting there and clapping and like directly, you know, supporting something that's actually outrageous. DMs.
Ethan's upset with, I think, some of our connections, and we've tried to reach out to Ethan to talk privately. Basically, it just seems like we're at a bit of an impasse. So we want to stay out of the drama as much as possible. We don't want to pile on and add to anything. So this is our, lukewarm addressing of it. It's, we're always open to talk, privately, especially. And we'll, the door's always open.
Yeah, the door's always open. I want to really drive it home.
Ethan's.
Yeah, so here's my take on that. I think you just shouldn't have said anything, Ian. Right? I don't even disagree with the sentiment. If the point that I just made is the point that Ian made. But I also, if I'm not publicly involved in a drama, I won't talk about it publicly. Right? Sometimes there's been dramas even recently that I've been involved with privately. I haven't said anything about it because I'm not publicly involved, and I don't plan on being publicly involved unless somebody involves me. So, I just don't say anything. You're holding out on us. You'd be surprised on the things I hold out on. Okay, every day I walk a tightrope of burning it down. God. Like a watermelon, perhaps.
And one of those circles is an H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content, he liked Ethan's content, until he didn't like Ethan's content. There would be an occasional froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, Like, I'm not gonna endorse it, I'm not gonna retweet it or like it, but fair enough.
I guess I just missed my old friend. Some wings or two.
What I saw is that Ethan is very much prone to anxiety and stress, and having loads of people on his head was a lot. He didn't leave room for self-questioning instead of going into instant defense mode because it challenged too much of a belief. Okay, listen, Ethan really needs to learn to just... Like, I feel like he's just... Like, why are we responding to this account? Unironically. Not to be like he's a big dick man on campus, but, like, shouldn't you have some thicker skin, Ethan? Like, who is this?
Bird feathered, colored.
Now that brings us to February 28th of this year. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure. Ethan, at some point, discovers that
so why are you even responding to somebody who's like this mentally ill? Like, this is like some schizo terminally online internet glub shitto. Like, I understand the stuff he's saying is heinous, but like, people say incredibly incorrect stuff about me all the time, and I don't say anything because I'm being the bigger person, and I know that me saying nothing is exactly the way to win.
Idubbbz' former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila. But no one's asking the question, where does Ethan get this information from? You see, it would be very obviously a problem if Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter, looking for...
Dude, an Adolf Hitler followed by Free Palestine is like shot chaser.
for something to upset himself with. He has maybe set it up.
Dude. What a world.
In such a way where his employees
wild Twitter. What the fuck was that?
feel the need to send him this information. And that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you. Why is there so much work being put into discovering this guy on Twitter who's barely getting any interactions, linking him to me and posting on the Reddit when
That's true. That's true. Very true, Idubbbz. I agree. I agree with that sentiment. Why? I think it's weird that you follow that account. I don't really see why you would, but a follower doesn't equal an endorsement, and you clearly don't agree with the, the wife being called the C word.
work being put into who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place. If you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out.
I don't even think it's like to make Ethan crash out. It's just that like everybody who's listen, guys, like I've said a million times before and will say to the end of time, every single time a drama, like a political tuber or like a bread tuber says, I don't like the drama, I don't like getting into beef, I'm in it because I have beliefs. No, you like the drama just as much as the rest of us, bitch. All right, stop trying to act morally superior. You and your audience like it. You just don't want to say that you do, all right? Because it's not nice to say that you do.
They're like, I've seen this account before. This account has scraped its history, and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within Ethan's own community. Like, this is the thing that he needs to be critical of. It's not me. So yes, I am willing to admit that my former editor was being very nasty, uncharitable.
Oh, okay, so it's his former editor. Okay.
And fucked up towards Ethan and Hila on Twitter. But Ethan and Hila are doing the same shit.
Yeah, it's like you admitted they're bad, but they don't need to interact with it
on their podcast. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terrorist supporter.
The CEO of Twitch.
Pedophile.
It's different. It's different when it's a creator versus like some internet random glub shitto, right? Like this, like it just is. Also, I don't know who Ethan is calling a nonce in this clip, but that feels like something is missing here.
Wow.
Now I'm going.
When did you first hear about the content cop? This is not a 9/11 level event. I don't remember.
To watch and respond to the two podcast streams where Ethan and Hila call us spineless cowards.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi.
How will this affect Creator Clash's legacy? That's the CEO of Twitch. So was it Ethan calling the CEO of Twitch a pedophile? I mean, Dan Clancy is a certified gooner, and I will say that he don't have the body to be gooner baxing. Just saying.
That she kills kids, that she went on like she's a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit, and that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and Idubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood.
So it showed up on their feed, and why are you policing other people's feeds? Why are you being so soy, Ethan?
By after all these fucking years, can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
Why do you give a shit? Why do you give a shit what's on their feed, bro?
You don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not gonna throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not gonna throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
How many women I fucked? Hasan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me ask Galia. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
Follower watching is cringe. Yeah, it just is.
My God.
Is this really the big drama I've been missing out on for the last fucking 6 months? Is this really what I've been missing out on? This is just like annoying old people. I know I'm saying that like these people aren't all in their 30s and I'm not pushing my 30s, but like, who cares? Have you gone outside lately? The weather's getting warmer. The grass is getting greener. It's beautiful, brother. It's beautiful out there.
Hasan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Watching me on a 30-second delay on your stream.
Wait, that's what I'm... Wait, how does he know I'm watching already?
Because you've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
There are many people
The grass is getting gooner is wild.
Sure who have unfollowed you for the things that you have said and done, and I'm sure there are even more people who have stayed following you.
Dude, you know, this is why you can't do... Here's why a lot of people don't like commentary channels, right? I'll give you the full fucking bare facts. I know people don't want to associate with me because I make content calling people out, right? And here's where it gets difficult, all right? Because if Ian is friends with both Hasan and Ethan, and he knows them personally, and he hears about the beef behind the scenes, he's expected to take a side, all right? You know how hard it is when you personally know the people involved in the drama, and now all of a sudden you got to make a take on it. Like you can't, right? So a lot of people don't want to make friends with like people like me because of the content I make, because they're worried, right? They're like, oh, what could happen, right? There's a lot of baggage that comes with that type of content, right? So him doing a content cop, that's why I'm like, there's a lot of baggage associated with that. That's like an example of that.
Because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments.
Listen, I know Hasan is sympathetic to the Palestinian plight, and I appreciate that, but can we be for real about the nation state of Turkey and its historical genocide problems? Listen, I don't know if you've ever listened to the Young Turks, but they have some takes about that.
We're all fucking human.
My good.
Yeah, well, that's why a lot of guys who start doing commentary, Kaleidosouls, end up walking away from it, because you can't. You know how difficult it is to manage, and a lot of people just don't want to fuck with people like that. They feel people like me would bring drama. I've had it happen.
Fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend and I'm a piece of shit. I'm spineless. I'm cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
Because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like
Every time Lunar's like, I made some art, it's me not doing the melon stream. Placing bets now on if it's the melon stream. Surprisingly, not melon stream related. Not melon stream related. I was really expecting it to be melon stream related.
I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized.
No, guys. The word gaslight means nothing. Stop it, Ian. You weren't being gaslit when you apologized. Okay, people thought that it was cringe. All right, it was cringe. Nobody likes trolls, remorse, Andes. Okay, people laugh at those kind of people. God, are you kidding me? My fruit are not. There we go. Let's fix this. Dude, I'm gonna say that I'm gaslit for like anything now. I'm just like, I really got gaslit when I went to the grocery store and they asked me to pay for things.
Actually, like the #1 type of harassment I got was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I've probably done and stood by Idubbbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them.
Me when I'm a kerosene lamp, I'm gaslit.
When all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
But I'll say this, I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I have nothing. I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation that I had with him was very...
Friends are when you agree with everything about them, actually. I need soldiers, okay? I am Big Boss. This is outer heaven, all right? This is a war without end. I know that I said at the beginning of the stream that I encourage you all to have your own opinions. I lied, actually. This is me gaslighting you, okay? We are all going to work together to take over Shadow Moses, okay? And we are going to steal Metal Gear.
Empathetic.
For 2 Matt, of course. Sorry, I needed to hit all my reasonable, autistic ticks for today's stream.
I basically...
How far is your orc army coming along? I've been pivoting to Votan. So I have 1,040 points of Votan. I only have one of them painted. I really want to spend a day just painting. and I'm really missing out on that. I need it. We are now a Votan channel. Yeah, 32% win rate Votan channel. Oh boy. Is this the react? This is the react. Can I will need a timestamp for that, but I see you're typing it out as we speak. The video dropped as Ethan was live around 26 minutes. Okay. I will take a look at that later, actually, after I get through this.
He just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that, and I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and denims.
Melon drawing done. I did kind of will it into existence. Yeah, I have started to say Zooey Mama. That's the thing I've been saying recently.
As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like Hasan actually.
Votan are the least fascist 40K faction so far. Okay. So far. It could be worse. It's just that they have no books on them yet.
Actually wants to go to Israel, go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not.
At least Ethan watched a content cop on him. Cough, Hasan, cough. Yeah.
Not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years. At one point during the stream, Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my former editor. He's critical of Ethan and Hila.
He's a T channel. He's a T channel, and not to be that guy, and I understand that Adam McIntyre is the person on the receiving end from the Colleen Ballinger stuff. Adam McIntyre is kind of annoying. Sorry. Just like many a T channel, they all float down there, along with me. But at least I don't. Listen, man, I hate the social optics of T channels. That's what really annoys me about them.
And he is sometimes uncharitable and nasty towards them.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear. That guy is a piece of shit. Like
all of you are annoying. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I prefer the commentaries brand of annoying, personally. But you know, it's like I just don't like the moral superiority thing. I'm just like a guy, man. Don't get me wrong. I got things that I care about and my opinions. I feel that I am morally superior for having them. But like, you know, the Twitter posting part of it is just like, like, well, why are we doing this? Like, Twitter is for shit post and porn. That's it.
Order. I never even stood
or for being outrageously racist.
by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that. I was disgusted by that statement too. I remember when he called her kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything
and
like
I was
that.
supposed to be like cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's disgusting.
Why do we forget that he called her children, which is something we would never do, the spawn of Satan?
It's disgusting.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I'm certain Trisha Paytas's fucking kids are devouring the souls of world leaders. Pope Francis, new Trisha Paytas baby coming for you.
And a piece of shit of a human.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
Unfortunately, they never made a statement. They never said that they.
Yeah. I think he was allowed to not want Adam around after calling her niece a saint. Yeah, or her niece Satan. Yeah, absolutely.
Disagree with his statements about Trisha.
Can she deliver faster for the meme? Come on, Trisha, pump them out, pump it out. Come on, we gotta knock out world leaders over here, lady.
Baby, until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years later? Like, I mean, you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the time and that there was...
Oh, yeah. Didn't Adam take a picture with fucking Trisha, like, literally a few days ago? They were at like an event together, and they took a picture together.
Some amount of pressure or enthusiasm for you to get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story, you know? It's really something.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are...
All right, I'm going to sound like the most annoying fucking Hallmark Andy right now, but, you know, I'm thinking that just hurt people. You know what I mean?
Said. Even
also, we're like 17 minutes into this, and like I feel like this is the only demonstrable point that Idubbbz has brought forward in the first 20 minutes of the video.
About our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet. Unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him. And you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for...
What the fuck? Why are you putting Olivia in that position now on your stream, Ethan? What the fuck?
Some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay? Olivia did not do anything. And
I want the pass. Do I have...
You did have the pass, actually. You said an N-word F slur. You know, despite this guy not wanting his career to be defined by that single moment, I don't think he will ever move past it because it's ultimately the funniest bit.
Have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see...
Does he have a gold tooth? He doesn't use it anymore. He needs a new one. Oh, it expired, yeah. Dude, he's got like a prospector's mouth right now. What is that?
See me as an ally? Or is it because Ethan is afraid of wrongful termination accusations and lawsuits?
And also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy how warm Ethan is to Olivia and saying how Olivia is essentially just a victim in this whole thing.
It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit.
But me and Anissa
No, bald head is 100% better than the mullet. I have a visceral reaction to white men with mullets. But if there are women with mullets, they should call me.
Spineless. Ethan, your whole system is scrambled. My intention isn't to throw the employees under the bus. Like, you guys serve as the fucking foundation for calling out Ethan's hypocrisy on the whole subject. And I know that you guys have probably pushed back against Ethan over the years. How often are you supposed to do that? Do you have to do that every fucking week? It kind of seems like it. And that's exhausting. I don't want to confront my boss. It's not...
What's your number? I'm grabbing the kitchen scissors now.
My fucking job to confront my boss and say, today's segment on rapists and pedophiles on Twitch was not like my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh yeah, and our other good friends.
Yeah.
We're gonna know he'll get deported when you least expect it. Dude, I was me born in New York. Actually, you know what? Maybe I gotta put in a good word with the El Salvadorian dictators in order to get prime treatment into work camps, huh?
Anissa and Ian. Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times because, like, why would I not? It was
all of this feels like a really personal spat. Like, I feel like I'm okay. You know what this feels like? It feels like I'm watching. Have you guys ever been like at a friend's barbecue, and then like the parents, like two of the parents are like arguing, and neither of the parents are the ones who hosted the event, and you're just sitting there going, damn, there are two families arguing right now, and I'm just sitting here and I'm in the pool with my pool noodle. Like, this is I am unequipped for this as a child.
Crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just going to use it later.
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the
Oh boy. Ugh. You know, I watched a documentary on the Troubles recently. Very interesting, very interesting. Talk about an absolute geopolitical clusterfuck that is. Very interesting. I really enjoyed it.
part of the Lebanese...
Not the conflict. I enjoyed learning about the conflict. There's a book I'm reading about it now, and I do find it very interesting.
They've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the...
Lebanon is a very... That one is like very convoluted and complicated, okay? Even outside of the IDF.
Propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times...
He's right about the Iris, but she's not actively threatened right now, yeah.
Like, please defend me. No, we're not gonna fucking defend you.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
Do we have that one?
Like just the other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No, it's not.
So yes, you caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense
I
when,
can't get over
I don't know, we
looking like a
follow
cancer
people.
patient.
You know, the thing is, back in 2016, that's what everybody was saying about how he looked now. But like, oh no, why did you delete their message? I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. It's okay. Yeah. Oh my god. It was the misclick. Yeah, back in the day, everybody was saying that about Ian, but it wasn't meant as like a mean roast. But now it's meant as like a mean roast.
We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
So,
the problem...
Okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know, yeah.
Which I'll
she's
show.
friends with
Denims is
Denim.
actually participating in this whole Child Protective Service lie.
Yeah,
which I'll
and if
show
you're
you guys
friends with
instead.
them, then you're saying what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their...
Your part, yeah, I understand that it sounds ridiculous with the Irish thing, but there's a lot of really interesting history there that I encourage you all to read up on. Not for some woke thing, but because war is cool to learn about, and I'm a guy and I like war.
Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people. Kind of a tricky situation.
The interesting part to see is whether or not Ian will like disavow the CPS thing or if that won't even be a function of this.
How can you possibly think that...
Because I think, you know, right now, aside from this video feeling a little superfluous and not really as hard-hitting as it could be, he's made some okay points that I can reasonably agree with, and some points that I honestly don't really fucking give a shit or agree with. And a lot of it feels like it's skinwalking, but I think he's like, some of it I'm like okay with. Other parts of it, not so much.
They're both good people.
He doesn't bring it up. Well, that's really cringe, because I think that would have been a really easy way for him to have some good control over the situation.
People at their core. People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know, I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking...
His take was what? You want me to comment about it or something? Unfortunately, yes.
Nasty to me than the other.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them, but separately. Yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not gonna make you guys like meet up and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking...
Yeah, like this feels like a take or this is like a conversation you have in private, because I've had conversations like this in private. I've had to like navigate things that happen in private where I'm like, I get you don't fuck with them, but I fuck with them, so I'll fuck with you and them, but now you need to be okay with me separating my time between them and you.
You're either my best friend who's deep-throating me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
The last thing I said to Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? And then from there, the conversation ended.
I don't think, no, man, because Ethan, you're asking people to get publicly involved with your personal shit, dude. You know, I don't ever ask my friends to like speak on my behalf in a drama. I've had to speak on behalf of random people that I don't talk to in drama, but like, you know, it is the cross I bear as Mr. Diesel.
Never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then, you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
But it was so funny how she immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, oh, he doesn't work with us anymore. But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't
Okay, do you have
agree.
anything else to say for your friends though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so quick to clarify things in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is, and they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle Dane. So yeah, the last thing we wanted is this guy.
Why did they think it was Uncle Dane?
Getting pulled into this mess.
I also did not know that Uncle Dane worked for Idubbbz. That is very interesting.
And you guys don't give a fuck. Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Hila? Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say. Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time. I don't know how long it'll...
Well, now that's not going to fucking matter. The bridge is burned. You can't undo making a content copy, Ethan. Or Ian. Like if Idubbbz cares about this relationship as much as he's making out to believe, he wouldn't have posted this in the first place. You know? Like, there are things that's happened to me in my life that I, like, value the relationships I've had, so I don't say anything about those things, you know? But if, like, he cared about the friendship, he wouldn't have said shit, period.
But a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach. I don't think we need to do it right now. But you've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice. I would be fine with you not brigading my comment section.
Like, I don't even... I feel like he's editorializing what silence means on a relationship there. It's like... If there's like a homie of mine who's not saying something about another drama that like, or a thing that I'm in, I don't assume that that's them wanting to pause the relationship. I assume that's them being like, listen, man, like, you know, it's not my cross to bear type thing.
On my podcast that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not to do harassment campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
Like they say something like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's like a and then also on Ethan's take here, right? Like that's also like just the ridiculous purity testing, right? And that's like the kind of shit where it's like you're never gonna meet a level that's okay, right? Like today it's like, oh well, you didn't support this, you didn't say it like this. Tomorrow it's like you didn't say it like this.
The problem.
That's the problem.
She actually.
She thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So go fuck yourself.
How will this affect my Smith & Wesson shares?
Agree.
That's my real question. Okay.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the fuck do you think we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens, and you're perpetuating it.
You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter. He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Dan KKK Clancy.
I mean, not everybody does that. That's crazy.
He has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking...
That's insane. That's insane. I think Dan Clancy has a personal monetary interest in seeing the biggest political content creator on his platform. That's what I think. I have a feeling it has very little to do with the politics at hand and much more to do with the money because he is a CEO.
Anti-Semite.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you continue to harass people. Let's think about it on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of like a line, what happened today.
How will this affect Bo Black's legacy? How will this affect G-Subs' legacy? Dude, I know that I'm drinking G Fuel right now, but I would literally no, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say that I would suck a cock for a G-Subs cup, but I'm not gonna say that.
That should never be crossed, even by like the most cynical, toxic people. It's going to have...
The problem going on with the Jewish couple is related to money. Jeez, Diesel. Okay, don't put words in my mouth.
Ramifications in terms of how...
I have a G-Subs cup of Too Mad. By the way, I have drank from the Too Mad cup. I don't have it with me right now, but I have drank from the Too Mad cup.
How I conduct myself in terms of these fair weather friends who are, you know, so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan, that is a rich thing to say. Like, you're the H3 podcast, okay? There's a lot of friends of the show. There's even more fair weather friends of the show. Let's not get into this shit, okay? That is so bizarre and insulting.
That's very funny, person who just sent me that message.
To suggest that I was only ever being friends with you to get something out of it. No,
Did you get any weird side effects from the Too Mad cup? Yeah, I kind of wanted to play Overwatch 2, but luckily I was able to stave that off after some time.
With you, and I'd say I'm a light friend because it's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years, and as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking...
Yeah, I don't really agree with the touch grass argument. Yeah, because it's already become like a real life thing.
Fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach
yes, this is what podcasts are. Podcasts are just people talking about other podcasts and also complaining. Okay? Name one podcast where somebody doesn't complain.
To say, like...
You can't.
Yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and I feel...
Talk Tua. Talk Tua doesn't count. That's a good question, though. How will this affect Hawk Tua's legacy?
Defensive, and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you, and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so easy.
Yeah, asked her. This whole thing could have been avoided if Ian just said, I don't agree with them, but they don't abuse their kids.
Anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist. Racism is the worst thing in the world, right? We fucking hate racists. Fuck racists.
Microaggressions.
The minute.
Why does everybody hate races? I think NASCAR is very interesting, but personally, I'm a Formula One fan myself.
That they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody. The minute they
I'm pro racist. I am a fan of race. I'm a fan of racing.
have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny, to sacrifice something personally to stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
Diesel loves race wars. You know, in the racing community, we really love a good race war.
Drama.
How much do you care?
I don't do drama.
How much
Sorry.
do you actually care? If you're, isn't that the whole point? Like,
I realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now more than ever. And it's not completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes. You guys are just hurt and you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me making this video is the standing up for something, and it's saying, fuck you, you guys are being bad. You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. You're hurting people.
I mean, go back to the civil rights.
You know, when you think about it, we never really left high school.
Like the white kids who were protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students.
Okay, not the JQ again, but I have a question, chat. You guys remember when the Jewish tunnels were found underneath New York City? That's it. That's the tweet and post.
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, you know, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing. You're gonna have to march on your own, black student.
Marching with the black students, and
I mean, why is
dude, white people always be like, I'm the black student, dude.
it inspiring? Why is it inspiring?
Well, and it's the same thing, to bring it back to Hassan just because, but it kind of is the same thing. Like, I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely. Harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one. If anyone's been watching for the past fucking year, I'm pretty sure they have a good idea of your feelings about Hasan.
Like, people like Anissa are the perfect example because she's friends with these people. She's friends with Denims. Denims is...
Yeah, they were like illegally expanding a building. But there's been this running conspiracy that there's a bunch of interconnected tunnels beneath New York City, and sometimes homeless people get snatched up into these secret tunnels in New York City.
Streaming this story about our kid
I'll show that, yeah.
getting Giarda from the dog.
How will this affect the geopolitical condition in the Baltics?
Whatever.
I'm sorry. I'll accept this take, this position from anyone except you guys. You have laid the groundwork for this type of streaming, which is watching people shit and giving your unfiltered reaction to it. Why would you expect Anissa, of all people, to say something to Denims? Okay, so by that logic, we should be saying shit to you guys all the time. But I have a feeling you guys wouldn't like if we said shit like that to you all the time. Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators. You can do what you want. We'll treat you as adults.
Remember when we had Vape Nation and everything was right with the world? Like, there's an alternate reality where Ethan got on camera and then did Zin Nation. Okay, in today's day and age, we could have had Zin Nation, but instead we have 40,000 podcasts of Ethan and Hila sitting there, and Idubbbz being an Ed Hardy T-shirt in his bisexual lighting garage.
Maybe we shouldn't have been treating you as adults.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for saying
But that would be commendable.
And by the way, it kind of speaks for itself that saying, hey, their house is claimed, they're, they're actually good people, like that's going to get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the prompt is. No one would care. The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck. It's not my business.
That's, in my opinion, doing something that's
Yes, it
difficult
does.
and standing by your principles. That's the whole point. That's what makes standing by your principles.
This really feels like I really shouldn't, like, this should be something that's happening in private. I feel like this is so personal that how can this be a content cop when everybody's got all these personal stakes involved in it? You know?
Admirable is that
like, I feel like the value of the content cop is diminished because this is more about Ian's personal relationship with Ethan.
It's not always easy.
Why are you saying that I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are? I get, like, we're a little bit past directly naming me, so we might have gone off on a tangent. If you maybe accepted the phone call and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles? And I can tell you the way I've been behaving is exactly in line with my principles. Now we're going to talk about the BDS list. We're going to start off with Frogan because obviously this is like as bad as it gets. If you're following Frogan, that can only mean that you're anti-Ethan. Oh, this is not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are following Frogan.
This is really just like a resident. All right, resident sleeper. This is resident sleeper behavior, okay? There's no funny bits. There's no funny skits. There's no little song. Well, I guess that Ian can't do a song because he can't be friends with Boy in a Band anymore because he is a pedophile. Laws, how do they work?
So that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, Morg Pie, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, Daily Dose of Internet is anti-Ethan. Jesus, this is fucked up. Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit, Asmongold's in here? Asmongold follows Frogan? No!
That's wild. Not gonna lie. I would not expect Asmon to follow Frogan, dude.
Asmon, that means you're anti-Ethan.
I think Asmon might be anti-Ethan for another reason, but who am I?
That's fucked up. We're gonna want to avoid these creators.
Nobody told me what type of laws there are. Nobody told me what type of laws there are. I want to rip Noah Samson's fucking Viltrumite mustache off. A mustache elicits a reaction in me.
At the top of the list, but one tier below them are the creators who associate with them. They're essentially endorsing all of their statements. You got me, you got Anissa, I think Hasan's in there. You'd think that Hasan would be on the top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hasan provides additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hasan because that's what he did. You gotta be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world.
I have been referencing Invincible a lot. Listen, man, I got my fixations, okay?
To associate with Hasan, that just makes sense because he's famous and he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan still follows Hasan on Instagram, so Hasan is in his feed.
And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and Idubbbz feed.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed.
I know. What the fuck does Denims even do? I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. Political streamers is just the worst, right? Because all of them just sit at their desk, yapping all day, giving the most insane hot takes you've ever heard, and then it's followed up by them having just insanity takes, like literally just like nutcase behavior. She sits there and looks pretty. Dude. Like with Twitch poll and like all the politics community, you either live long enough to become a sex pest or have sex with Destiny. Or to Hasan, I guess.
Or put onto it, depending on how Ethan's feeling that day. You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hasan, but are still...
Which are you? I'm a drama frog. As per the words of Hasan Piker, I'm a drama frog who's like just in this for like the content, and he doesn't actually fucking give a shit about anything, or something that time he called Nicholas Theorio crypto fascist or something.
Anti-Ethan, but Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are
Calling Stavros a powerful, popular man is the funniest shit ever, I gotta be honest. Dude, how will this affect Cumtown's legacy?
supporting Hasan. It's because Ethan is a coward. He's a bitch-made coward. I think Ethan has an unreasonable amount of respect for these comedians because they have power, they're quick, and I think he knows that they don't fuck with his ideology. But he's gonna keep that to himself because the last thing that he wants to discover is that people that he respects and looks up to.
Dude, I saw... It was like the Cumtown reunion thing where Stav was on with Nick Mullins and Adam and all them, right? And Nick was telling a story about how Blue Chew got mad at them when he said that the Hamas fighters flying over on their paragliders were bricked up on Blue Chew when they were flying into the kibbutz to shoot up the Jewish civilians. And Blue Chew hit him up and was like, you can't say that people used Blue Chew to kill people. And he's like, yeah, but I did. Oh, fuck.
They don't fuck with him.
Bill Burr came on. It was like the worst fucking show. It was just horrible. That was like my lowest moment on podcast history.
Yeah, because Bill Burr was nut checking you, Ethan.
We could talk about Bill Burr ruined my life. Bill Burr made Ethan.
Bill Burr ruined my life. God forbid a comedian nut check you. God.
Going Lexapro. I was prescribed it and it was in my bed.
Dude, Bill Burr made him go on antidepressants.
Bedside. And then it was the Bill Burr episode that made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hasan's stream and he mocks your content nuke.
I actually saw a really interesting video about you, man, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable being here anymore.
Oh no.
It really kind of shed light on you in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of like have leftist politics and stuff like that. And I actually feel betrayed.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually just here to let you know this is the last time I'm ever coming.
You don't fire back because you're coping. So you're just going to tuck your tail between your legs and never mention
I gotta be honest, Stav kind of gave like a nothing sentence there. I don't know what I was supposed to take away from that. I think he was just ripping Hasan.
Podcast that mentions everything. You're bringing up some fucking connection I have on Twitter. Someone mocks you on a stream, you're not touching it. Fuck you, you're a coward.
You know, I feel like there's an alternate reality where this content cop was good, but Ian's soul is empty. So, you know, here we are.
It's just his job. It's just what he does for his job. You know.
Also, I can't wait for the Creator Clash discourse to start now. Like, this is great. Like, who's not excited for Creator Clash? Me.
He doesn't mean it.
I feel like Creator Clash like being so bad last year, or like having so many issues, is really just like I feel like YouTube boxing as a whole has kind of died down as a result of that. Like, it's just the whole space.
Really good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also, I can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with.
Listen, man, don't bring Rhett and Link into this, man. Good Mythical Morning ain't do nothing.
He's sniffing around.
This guy, Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife, or in a video game. And I think he should be fired.
Oh, my God.
Frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic. And he interviewed basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks
if GMM is involved, that makes Smosh tangentially involved. The YouTuber civil war is coming faster than you think. Dude, that's crazy. Holy shit. This is a recession indicator, I think.
They're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to. And I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit and we're going to call you out.
So here's the button. You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
Do you think Hilo was listening to It's My Belly Button by Rhett and Link while she was raiding a Palestinian village? Oh my god. Yeah, I thought it was really weird that they were wearing the color block hoodies as they were going house to house, door knocking. It's actually what made Ethan start taking Lexapro. I'm surprised chat has been normal. Cut to insane chatter. Yeah, well, all the chatters who were mad at me left in the first 15 minutes and didn't get to hear me say any of those keynote takes about how Hila Klein was going door to door shooting Palestinians. This is a joke. This is a joke. This is a joke.
Yes.
There's no point.
How will this affect Teddy Fresh's legacy?
Let's leave.
Yeah, there's no need.
That is the question.
I don't want to. But shit. Like, how pathetic are you? Don't worry if you don't have it all now. All gone. I don't like pedophile. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach. You'll be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. Yes, please. I want to be a good Jew. I'm a good Jew. Please, guys, please.
That was fine. Yeah, I don't think it was that.
That was fine.
Big a deal.
Hey.
Of all the things that
Anywho.
it always surprises me what you think crosses the line.
Well, I looked at Olivia and she's like, yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out how he can change his behavior, he spent $20,000.
Dan and Ela were like,
What?
We would kill button that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
I know. That's why the kill button is on its way.
That's it. See, exactly.
He uses the button.
I feel like we could have gotten a really simple button, like a non-$20,000 button. Also, I don't think pocket watching the cost of this button is really whatever, but like, okay.
For everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me crickets, so I panicked.
If he's insecure about getting something wrong, he's hitting the button.
But okay.
Okay, so the button's like a gag. Who cares? Who cares? The button's like a stupid gag.
What? Button for that? What on this frame could Ethan have responded to? Perhaps the country flag that he got wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just
chat. How is this affecting Timster's legacy?
That like their eyes are like big. I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique in hitting the button. I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, you operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have...
Who the fuck gives a shit about this button? What the fuck is this button have anything to do with anything other than it's for him to be, like, coping when he makes a bad joke? Who gives a single flying shit about this button, Ian?
My podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community and Ethan himself use the phrase...
There's a button on the trading floor manipulating the stock market right now. Now you're JQing, chat, okay? You're JQing.
Goblin mode all the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior.
As a goblin, I take offense to that. My people have really suffered at the behest of all the humanoids, okay? We didn't choose to serve the Dark Lord. He made us. Big difference.
Behavior or make it seem less bad.
I've been diagnosed with goblin mode, actually.
By claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state he refers to as goblin mode.
I do not call myself goblin mode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you did.
Dude, everybody I've seen in this video would be really boring at a party. Like, when I want to do a line of coke, I don't want this kind of energy.
Goblin mode, is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
To all victims of goblin mode, I would like to issue an apology.
You are goblin mode today. You're goblin.
Dude, I take great offense to this.
Look how many times you paused.
I'm trying, bro.
I haven't watched H3 or Hasan or Idubbbz in like 4 years. Okay, here comes a clip of Diesel watching one of those people a year ago, right? But I haven't thought about these people. I don't care, and this got me to watch all of them.
And I don't think there's no room for using the term goblin mode. I like the idea that you're defending yourself and the little guy by going goblin mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, to treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude. I've gone fucking goblin mode over way less.
But you not thinking about what you're saying, not, reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior, that's not goblin mode. That's being a child. Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast.
Man, I don't know. You're not there. You're not there in the office, brother. What the fuck?
Every crew member has it bad.
People who say they go crazy usually do not go crazy, or they're just assholes and they want to justify being a dick.
To be around Ethan, period, would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every
Ethan is more of a bugbear than a goblin, if I'm being honest. If we want to get really phrenology, the study of... I'm going to stop before I accidentally say something really offensive.
Fucking syllable of that, okay? What she did was...
What's a bugbear? I'll pull it up. I'll pull up a bugbear. All this AI bugbear crap. Disgusting. Here we go. Hold on. D&D. Diesel needs a 20K button. I do need a 20K button. Please donate to my $20,000 button fund. That's a bugbear.
Warrant. And by the way,
just don't listen. Your critique of her is correct. It's just people are sensitive.
He's more of a dark gnome. See, I didn't say gnome because I felt like it was more offensive to say that.
About women being called that word, and so
like, how pathetic are you? You know what I mean?
Who's that? Who the heck is this guy? Does he approve of goblin mode, or is he like anti-Ethan? Who is this? Who is this vato, chat? Who is this vato?
I'm not assuming his pronouns. And fuck all these people.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No,
and I'm
no.
not yelling at you. I'm just...
Kelly is a black woman, right?
Yes.
Maziel is a...
Korean.
Oh, Dan, come on. You're being such a buzzkill. Yeah, I didn't know Korean. I asked if Koreans are POs. God.
This video is resident sleeper, dude. I am bored out of my fucking gourd watching this. I am not gonna lie. I had so many requests to cover this tonight that I'm doing this, but just know that even though all the information has been presented to me now, and even though Hasan's chatters have come to say mean things to me, I still don't care. I still don't care. Ian can't make me care. Ian can't make me care. And I don't care about Ian.
Bathroom. Let's just not do this right now.
I asked if Korean people are POCs.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to A. be without thinking that the internet was going to hear it.
I
It was rude. It was
personally
nasty,
adore and
and it
appreciate
didn't
you. There we
have
go.
this caveat
That's the loyalty
of,
I expect in my corporation.
like, I'm not mad at you. It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use they get access to cover most of it.
We're doing it.
What are
Making
you
it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
What the
I'm
fuck
sorry,
is
I'm not
this shit?
Just like this is what I'm talking about when it's always like
This is literally like a clip special, bro. Holy shit, it's killing me. Idubbbz, do something funny. I'm bored. My ADHD, dude.
We need to get home for our kids.
it's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I was just talking about finishing Wednesday.
On Friday, maybe. Is it?
You guys, like,
All right, I'm taking my hand off the. What? Okay, well.
Heard all that.
Thanks, button.
And he didn't want to take accountability
I
for
had to
it.
put on reload animations.
He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all, I appreciate the hard
To
work.
be fair, you have to be terminally online and hyper political to care about this. I mean, this seems like I would be the prime demographic for it then, right?
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is, and
I know.
it makes it.
I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button f***ed me, dude. Can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that?
Smash or pass goblin mode Ethan. If Ethan was a goblin, I would not have sex with him.
Button fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem
I don't
like he's
understand
not a
this. You haven't really presented the thesis on why the button is so bad. Other than that, it's just him when he's going cringe. Not even. I don't like the understanding mechanic. I don't understand the mechanics of the button still.
Tyrant of a bomb.
Wow, goblin fat phobia. I actually love a fat goblin. It's just because Ethan is a man.
We're doing it.
What are
Making
you
it
doing?
so awkward and terrible. I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And
I
I
know.
loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Dan, his producer, is constantly clarifying things.
What if
on
he
the
was
air.
a bugbear? You know, you guys just keep asking me all these outrageous would yous. You know, that's how bored we are, chat. Is that we're just like, would you if he was a bugbear? Would you if he was a gnome? Like, what is this?
And making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke. Ethan
Wow,
is
goblin
being overly-
homophobia. How can it be goblin? I am unfortunately the world's most bisexual straight man. So I'm sorry, but
defensive, or he's saying things that are like,
would you smash Ethan if he was a hot elf baddie woman? That's just literally a different person.
not true, and he's exaggerating.
I would not, could not in a box. I would not, could not with a fox. What's your stances on halflings? I am not interested in halflings or hobbits, but I would with a dwarf. The fantasy kind, not the real kind. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's prejudice or something, but it's just like my opinion, man.
People saw that. They thought that
Would
was
you
what
if he was
searched.
goth and British? This is just a different person.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate you doing that.
You
God
just like
forbid.
short women. I also like tall women. I don't want a woman the same height as me. They either have to be taller than me and able to reach the top shelf, or green and shorter than me.
What's okay because I buttoned it.
Why?
Because
it's not that big of a deal, man.
Just
Like,
your
how
inability to.
No. Hold on, Dan. How does it change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well.
Check your
tell me
DMs.
you just asked.
Would you if he was a different person and a woman and a different size than you and green? Yeah, this was a bad omen. This is quite the bad omen. What if green tall? If green tall, if green tall, that means you're orc, and I'm totally down for that. Green short means you're a goblin, and I'm also down for that. So
how it changed.
Surprise them on your show.
Okay. All right.
You know, I understand that that's his role, and he's, you know, Ethan's made that his job, or Dan's made it his job. Ethan leans on it so heavily.
what
And
if just green? You know, it really depends. The figure matters. The figure matters personally for me, for my personal tastes. You know, What if green in a swamp? That's just Shrek. What if it was Shrek?
Same way that he leans on the button. Ethan is leaning on all of these people to be adults.
Where does
and
green
look after
average
his
height
behavior
fall in all of this?
and
Half
give
orc,
all
I
of this
guess?
emotional and empathetic energy for Ethan, but Ethan refuses to give it back to them. Also, let's talk about AB and Lena.
I honestly, I don't know what is happening with all these insane questions. These are the most, like, I don't know why you're this distracted about this right now. You're just like litigating the specifics of what I'm interested in.
Employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they don't exist. It would be nice.
What if not green and fat and is just Ethan from H3H3?
A lot nicer for you to shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah in Syria alone killed double that much. All right, I'm going to move on. I just want to play Hasan talking about bad empanada.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him.
What about
because
red?
He's putting them in this position every
Nick
day,
is not
right?
green?
But it's more important that he gets this shit off his chest. It's more important that he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin mode. Well, Ethan debuted a new mode recently.
And by the way, my ratio is pretty good. Like, I'm looking at like 20 Goblin modes to 1 too far. Demon mode, let's call it.
This is so fucking cringe and boring. Green sun or thought daughter?
What makes demon mode different than goblin mode is goblins aren't really like an intimidating, powerful force. If the goblin is...
Hey, listen here, buddy. Listen here, buddy. Goblins are an intimidating force when they appear in number, okay? Everyone knows that their CR rises if there's multiples of them.
Is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm done with the other one, the big one that's dropping probably next week, my full attention is going to you, George. Like the eye
millennial YouTubers were a mistake. I'm noticing that.
of Sauron. I see you.
I can't wait for Zoomers to age out of being like up to date on internet terms. All right, and then they all they all age out.
See you out there, you fucking cock.
Skeptic community son or T channel daughter? T channel daughter, 100%. Because a skeptic community son just means that he believes in conspiracy theories, but then just says he's asking questions.
Cockroach.
Ethan, the reason the internet got behind you when you were being sued by Matt Haas or when you were being sued by Ryan Kavanaugh is because people saw you as the underdog. They saw you as the guy who's defending the common man.
I'm suing.
How do you feel about Shrek's daughter and Shrek 5 trailer? That's a trick question. That's a bait question.
And I cannot wait.
20 goblins or 20 orcs? What kind of questions? What kind of questions are these?
For you guys.
20 goblins or 20 orcs? In a fight, right? You mean in a fight?
To read it. At the moment, we are writing 3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of friends, you have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad, you feel hurt, but you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that money
3 orc-sized goblins or 1 goblin-sized orc?
to bully and intimidate people. These public legal threats that you're making to fellow creators, these legal threats that you're making to people on Reddit, on Twitter, you're like, I'm hurt. These people are hurting me. What do I do to stop it? There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm powerless. No, you have a ton of power. You have a ton of options. You have a ton of choice. That's exactly what you get for being filthy rich, is you can do all of these things.
I've never want to sue someone for defamation, but like at what point do you kind of fucking have to? I mean, this is like basically someone calling you a pedophile. Be like, yeah, you know, Ethan's a pedophile.
Dan Clancy or whatever, like the CEO of Twitch. And
Diesel's law strikes again. Diesel's law strikes again. God, you guys are really, really fucking thirsty tonight. You guys are really fucking thirsty tonight. I know I encourage it in the chat, but you guys are fucking ravenous this evening.
Pedophile. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
Zooey Goblin. That shouldn't be funny. That's not funny. That's not funny. I'm not laughing at that. Would you give up goblins for a Klondike bar? No, because goblins are forever, but Klondike bar is just one bar.
There are certain things you can accuse people of that rise above to make it like actionable, which is like wrongfully accusing someone of being a pedophile, a sex criminal, a murderer, shit like that. Dan
Diesel, you're one Zooey Goblin away from cocky 1.1. That is the most, like, that only makes sense here.
Clancy now, in other words, he is a pedophile.
Diesel, what would you do if you were Eminem and getting canceled by Gen Z? I don't know. Dude, the little guys, it's just they're manifesting the Gooner Battalion tonight. That's so true.
You have so much less to go off of saying that than anybody has about
based
Dream.
on his looks. Just based on his
Well, at least you're self-aware.
That's 100% a joke. I have no evidence to conclude that he is.
One of the more notable legal threats that Ethan has sent out recently is against Noah Samson.
I have nothing but vibes to gain, and potentially your money as well.
I'm
Don't
sorry.
worry if you don't have it all
Noah
now.
Samson is definitely a skinwalker, brother. Definitely a skinwalker. Dude, I feel like, okay, I've met really nice and great leftists and Democrats and liberals in real life, but every single one that exists on the internet that I have ever seen is the most disingenuous, crazy, maladjusted, weird, performative, like, psycho. Okay, they're just all like that. All right, at least when you listen, you know, that also being said, I've met people who are definitely super omega racist, but even then, they're more polite to me in person. It's just something about the internet. Maybe it's that.
I'll garnish your wages. You're going to be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. 26, you know what I mean? Try 40.
Diesel, what would happen if the U.S. government revealed the first bioengineered goblin, but it's male, but it's an omega? What kind of statement is that? Well, you know what they say. Throw me to the wolves and I'll come back a father.
46.
Noah made a video that was critical of Ethan and other content creators when they're talking.
Dude, and the problem with all of this, is that everybody who's making a video about the Ethan Hasan stuff has like personal stakes. They have like personal stakes, you know? Like, I'll say this, at least Nick doesn't really have like a personal connection to Hasan or Ethan or any of these fucking guys. He's just like doing drama content.
About Israel and Palestine. I mean, the way he's talking about Noah on his podcast is so fucking creepy and weird.
Is this a new thing?
This is a new thing. This happened during the show. Upon initial exam.
I can't. This is a really... I haven't seen chat like this in such a long time.
The shotty took away my monster girl threads I would browse every other day on /JP/ it's been more than 24 hours. My thirst is that of a fent addict with no fent held plaza.
Jesus Christ.
Examination, it seems to check out, and it's not great for
This is what happens when you're away for a long time. I streamed like Monday.
young Noah.
Can I say that? Don't say it yet.
Don't say it.
So he's a rape. So of course his standard. I don't know what he's accused of, so I'm not actually going to say. But
Ethan brought on a former partner of Noah to basically just shit talk him and say that he's a bad partner. But that's all that Ethan was able to extract out of it.
You are not accusing him of committing any crimes or doing R-word or anything like that. The accusation is that he's a sleaze.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
Samson.
Okay, listen, man. I could. Whoa! A young leftist white male is a sleaze bag. Oh, you fucking colored me shocked. Oh boy, crazy.
As far as I know, is not a rapist.
Fuck you to Noah Sampson, who's not just a liar and a scumbag, but also a creep. Allegedly.
Now let's talk about the left-leaning Democrat.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things.
The thing that made me start to question Ethan's intentions is that when he was suggested to talk to Sam Cedar, a fellow progressive, a guy that Ethan respects and looks up to.
He works with Sam Cedar at the Majority Report. I respect him and what they do there.
He kept saying that it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that...
I really don't care about this, Ian, because every time you talk about these things, I just go, "You're the N-word F-slur guy."
He talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
That's why I said yesterday, like, I urge Ethan to talk to Sam Cedar. There are very...
Who would win if they were in a cage match? An Armenian or Hasan Piker?
thoughtful, very kind anti-Zionist Jews out there that he could talk to. I don't think that I will be able to reach him.
What's the insinuation that?
Hold on, we gotta debuff Hasan Piker. Okay, Hasan hasn't had a zin in 48 hours.
I only listen to other Jewish people. You need to talk to my pre-approved list of Jews that like agree with me on everything. You know, it doesn't matter if they're Jewish, dude. It doesn't matter if they're fucking Jewish.
I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews at large view it. I don't think that is the.
What in what position are you to even say that?
It's not motivated by myself. It's motivated by Jews against anti-Zionist Jews.
Seriously, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know what to fucking tell you. This is like step one of having a leftist ideology, is recognizing our race, religion, nationality, all this shit, all shape our experiences as people.
That's the reason why it'd be better served to have this conversation not with myself, but with an anti-Zionist Jewish person.
Why does it matter if they're Jewish?
Because I'm not Jewish, and you've said in this conversation that, like, how can you tell me how to feel about the situation?
Yeah, but how is one person a representative of Jews at large? I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
So yes, Ethan.
Yes, the guy who's not a resident debater makes a double negative statement. Yes, many such cases. Womp womp.
On occasion, you might be suggested to talk to someone who has some crossover with you. It doesn't have to be your ethnicity. It could possibly...
Smash or pass anti-Zionist Jewish goblin. I know. Like, for some reason, those keyword phrases just bring about the picture of the goblins from Harry Potter.
Be someone who shares progressive ideology with you. It could possibly be someone who is of your same gender. I think Ethan understands this concept very well. He listened to these women on his show when they told him that he shouldn't be calling women bitches.
This bitch is intolerable. You are such a nasty fucking bitch, Ken.
I don't know if you can call her a bitch, though.
She is a bitch. She's a fucking bitch. You're right. I call her a see you next Tuesday.
Listen, you have.
I'm curious, what do Lena and Sam think about it?
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Yeah.
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 I feel like that it's for the girlies, Ethan. But I
So
agree.
you guys all seem to
Yeah.
be in consensus that it's in
are.
poor form. I think to respect the women here in the room,
Can Ethan ever say bitch towards a woman?
I'm going to have to pass on saying that.
You know, this is just...
The infantilization of Ethan Klein is fucking nauseating. He's not a child. He is absolutely capable of looking into Hasan, learning about his politics, interviewing, doing loads of things to figure out where he stands.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports...
This nothing burger is so tasty. I literally am I am going to finish this video because I said I would, and it was like a big deal, and I'm streaming late, and I'm tired, but I'm sitting here going, Jesus fucking Christ, I don't care. And I totally expect, guys, I totally expect Ethan, the Jewish guy, to be a little sensitive towards this and maybe not act like a rational Andy. I don't really expect him to act like anything else. I don't really expect it.
Basic things. And for the first time, I noticed in
Diesel, what would you do if a goblin girl wanted to hook up, but she asked you to call her slurs the whole time? That's a crazy one. I guess it depends, you know? I guess it depends.
an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was. This comment from Hasan really started to sound some alarms in my head. I was already getting uncomfortable.
What if instead of being Hasan Piker, he was Hasan Pinor, and instead of talking about socialism, he talked about Freaky, and all of his streams were like the Freak stream.
Comfortable with our partnership. I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hasan? Like this.
What if the Goblin Girl was into Hispanic race play? Oh my god.
Guy made a fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked.
Hasan daughter or Asmongold's son? Can I get non-binary dream viewer, actually?
Capable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what, 60 some odd episodes of this shit? For hours talking to this guy? You didn't have a problem with any of it until, Ethan talks about being aware of Hasan's 9/11 comments and then sort of leaves it at that. Like it was just a joke. Actually, I think Ethan describes them as edgy moments or jokes.
You might remember him.
FPS Diesel, more like Freak PSD's Subzel. You know what? You tried.
From such classics as
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. You know, as somebody who had a family personally affected by 9/11, I don't like that at all, actually.
To be clear, I knew.
And I feel that he would feel very differently if a plane flew into his single family home.
Knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand.
He just went goblin mode. It's fine. Oh, so true.
Understand why you would conflate the two. That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case,
was Hasan talking about 9/11 while Big Boss was on screen? Well, he is a congressman, so I guess it's more like Bucky Barnes, but he's not cool because he's just like a guy.
American imperialism and terrorism. You could have looked into that. You could have talked to Hasan a little bit more and found out.
Listen, Ian, just say it with your full chest out. You totally agree with that 9/11 statement, and you fucking suck.
What his international politics opinions are.
Ian's slyly defending Hasan's 9/11 comment. Fuck you. Fuck you from fucking New York, you stupid bitch.
But you wouldn't even need to do that. You can look at it on.
I don't listen, man. America, obviously, yada yada, imperialism bad. That doesn't justify 9/11. Period.
Line. You're not a victim. You weren't.
Two wrongs don't make a right, brother.
Tricked. You made 60.
9/11 was bad, and that is not a controversial statement.
Some odd episodes. If you didn't want to go down this route, you shouldn't have done it. But that was your fucking choice. You did it. You are an adult. When Ethan and Hila are watching Matt Lieb saying that one state doesn't represent all Jews, they cannot wrap their heads around the idea.
No single person represents all Jews.
I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
No single person represents all Jews, as no single state represents all Jews.
This is another weird thing.
Oh my God.
Israel. This is a lie that I see Hasan and people pander. They say that Israel's going to war on behalf of Judaism. They have never. I don't believe that that's ever been stated, and I don't think Israel ever explains that.
Also, Ian is not like a political Andy, so it's just like I'm very not give a shit-itis about his takes about anything because I'm just like I don't know, like man, I don't really take you for a learned man. I don't really feel like fucking listening to you.
That it's like.
Yeah, this is just part of Ian's ever-long battle to try and get respect from anyone. Dude, he's trying to court BreadTube, dude. He's got the bisexual lighting. He's talking about Ethan Klein. Welcome back, BreadTube video essayist. Many such cases. Get in line with the rest of them.
I think Israel says it's a place.
People from outside the tri-state don't realize how seriously we take 9/11. Yeah, dude. You really, really don't. There's plenty of people who were alive for it and like experienced it like firsthand. It'll definitely be a interesting thing for you to explore.
Where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews can go? With that slogan, we might actually have peace. You know, if that's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go. Like, sure, it sounds like America to me. Like, all right.
I don't think.
What is was it in Dustborn? Wasn't there a place called Israel, like Idaho or something?
I think that Israel said they represent all Jews. I don't think that's a stance. We're like, hey, displacing Palestinians is all Jewish people.
Ethan is being so disingenuous here to suggest that he doesn't understand what Matt Lieb is saying. Like he's making a semantic argument. Like, I don't think Israel has.
Yeah. Oh, it only single-handedly culturally defined America in a way that changed how we lived life forever afterwards. Yeah.
Said that it represents every.
Dude, we got the TSA after it happened. America has fallen. The West has fallen.
Jew on the planet. I don't think.
For real though, for someone who finally learned empathy at 30, he's very unempathetic stance on why a Jewish person might feel complex about the war. Well, you know what? He is a white Ed Hardy T-shirt, so he hasn't really been through that experience because nobody's purchased one of him in many years.
Israel has claimed that. They're not going to say that their most genocidal behavior represents anything to do with them, okay? But what they are going to do is they're going to inexplicably link Israel and Jewishness together, so when they're being criticized, all of a sudden they have the perfect defense. Oh, another thing I need to mention. There was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi.
The thing is, when this... So, BreadTube is going to love this, right? They're going to love this video. Even though I'm like kind of mid on it, like some of the points that Ian has made, I'm like, okay, I get that. Some of them I absolutely don't agree with, right? I'm very middle of the road on it as somebody who's not really been vocal about the drama, right? But it's just like, I know that if Ian courts that kind of audience, it's just one of those things that's always come to bite you in the ass. Because it just always has. It always has with all those guys who do the video essays. Like, it constantly fucking happens, right? When you don't meet the purity test, all of a sudden somebody's got a fucking problem with it. And then the floodgates are open. So it's just like, it's going to happen.
Tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
List them, and we're going to need your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi.
There was no reason for that to be a TwitchCon. I'm telling you, that was anti-Semitic. I have seen this.
And who can't.
And also, we have tiers. We have Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. Like you got like a white guy's like, can I say it? Is it a slur? And then love Sabra.
Dude. If you real like, if I asked Mishi if it was okay for me to say Habibi, she would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Of course, my N-word. All right. She would be like, "What are you like? What's wrong with you? Why are you asking that stupid question?" Like, oh yeah, white boy summer, alhamdulillah, you know, like.
Which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately knew what it was doing. I was like, oh, it's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't tier list. Granted,
Yeah, it was though. Love Sabra is literally a stand-in for Jew. Yeah.
Habibi is very different than the N-word, but it is a
He would know about the N-word though, as the N-word F-slur guy.
cultural word amongst Arabic-speaking people and Muslim people. Like that is a word that's used. Habibi. It means my love. Oh no, don't do that, Habibi. Oh yes, Habibi. You're my Habibi, I'm your Habibi. So yes, it's
Dude, does he have the boss man pass? That's the real question.
meant to be a fun
Can he get a doner kebab at 3 a.m. or is he not allowed? That's the
way
real
that
question.
these Arab
Can he have garlic naan with the butter sauce or is he not allowed?
content creators can express their Arab culture and be proud of it and happy about it, because it's not like they have massive representation on the platform.
I Habibi, you Habibi, he, she, we Habibi.
Making a tier list based on race. And nobody has a fucking problem with that. Okay, you have a tier list based on race. Where's the Jewish panel? Where's the Jewish panel? We're at the top.
Can we get the Jewish panel on who gets the cream cheese and the bagel? Wait, does he say that? I think he does.
It says Jewish. It's a tier list based.
No, come on, Ethan.
Based on Arab to Jew.
Listen, man. If I were to make a Puerto Rican tier list, at the top it would be people who could make a hokan gandules, and then at the bottom it would be white rice.
The Arab, which is good. That's the best thing you can be on this. That's the best. This is racist.
I will say that conveying information through a tier list is not the most effective thing, but Ethan should understand this principle. He did it.
What, dude? They're doing coded racism. Okay, you want to be a leftist? That tier list is coded racism. What are you, stupid?
A white slurs tier list with Hasan.
Cracker.
I mean, you know what my take is.
He did do that.
We can't put this.
Guys, 2 wrongs make a right. That's what I'm getting from this.
That as an F. Cracker. I mean, that's got to be.
This is literally what bread tuber wrote this, dude. This is ridiculous how he doesn't recognize that. Dude, he's the N-word F-slur guy. He should know a slur when he sees one.
At least a
Or does he only understand unsubtle slurs and not the more subtle ones?
D, right?
Pale face, motherfucker.
Pale face. I mean, again, I think that's an F. Hog.
So hog is my favorite. I use it all the time.
Him and Hasan feel as though they're white guys, so they felt very comfortable talking about white slurs on their tier list.
I think I'm more white than you. What do you think?
I think I'm white. Like, I'm super white.
Like, this shit that Ian's saying with this fucking tier list is such a ridiculous thing. Dude, that's actually fucking frustrating. You know, there were some points at the beginning of this where I was like, I agree with Ian's sentiment here. I agree with what he's saying. And these things are like, I'm not agreeing with this at all.
Can you understand why Arabs might feel comfortable talking about Arab shit on their tier list, Ethan? You're the white guy.
Do you get me in feeling that this video feels like one of Hasan's goons put their finger in the script? I don't think they did put their finger in the script. I think these are just Ian's actual thoughts. And his thoughts are kind of stupid and totally okay with coded Jewish anti-Semitism, you know? It's the same thing if it was like Islamophobia. Like, I'd be saying the same fucking thing.
I think you're more white than Hasan.
I think I'm more white than you.
So, yeah, the white guy can say all the things that he wants, like cracker. But the Arabs can't have their tier list.
Every time, okay, also not to be that guy, but every time I hear a white guy say Arabs, it just feels like it's like said with like a hard A or something. I don't know. Way to put it.
I would put him also in Arab. I know Turkish people are different.
Notice how they drop the premise almost immediately that it's about who can say Habibi. And then it's like Hasan, okay, actually he's Arab. We fucking love him. He's dope. He's Arab.
Habibi is an Arabic word. That is an Arabic word, Ethan.
Funny about this whole thing is that they say Habibi in Israel. Again, people underestimate just how like
yeah, better than hearing Arab. Yeah, when I hear that, I'm like, uh-oh.
Mixed Israeli culture is like.
We say Habibi in Israel. Yes, Ethan. Another piece of evidence as to why it isn't anti-Semitic.
This is racist.
If you're not Arab or understand Arab culture at all, which is a lot of Americans. And Ethan Klein presents you this tier list and calls it...
It's very nice that the white savior has come in to tell us about how Arab culture works. I will say I have learned a lot. Obviously, you know, talking with Mishi, I have learned many things. Very interesting things.
Anti-Semitic. You're just going to eat it up.
I asked a lot of questions about Ramadan because I got exposed to a lot of Jewish people, so I understand Hanukkah. I understood Kwanzaa, right? I understood all of those things, but I hadn't been exposed to anybody who lived that life, so I asked questions.
It's not. Ethan is just proving his location on this tier
Yeah, Ian is intentionally leaving out context of what Love Sabra means.
list under Love Sabra because he doesn't understand Arab culture. There's a lot of Arabs who eat Sabra. There's a lot of people like me who eat Sabra. A lot of the times it's all
yeah,
that's
but
in
Love
the store.
Sabra
And
doesn't mean that they eat Sabra. Fucking the Sabra means that you're a Jew.
I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna eat
Would you say you were just asking questions? Just asking questions in the loaded sense, actually.
it. But it is not the good shit. Like the average Arab American, they're gonna go in the store and the only option they have is fucking Sabra. And that sucks that that's the only option, right? Arab communities and distribution facilities are not widespread across the US. So what are they left with? They're left with a common, relatable, shitty hummus, which is Sabra. And what's so fucking pathetic about this whole thing is after
No,
he's
I
able
think
to
Ian knows. I think Ian knows. I think Ian's being deliberately facetious about it. Facetious, excuse me.
get these Arab creators banned off of Twitch for 30
Thank
days.
you, Ian Idubbbz, for educating me on Sabra hummus. Listen, now, if Ian was coming in and telling me about the Mayo Industrial Complex, I would listen, okay? I would sit my ass down in the chair and I would listen.
He goes on to talk about how bad Sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody prefers Sabra over homemade, like, restaurant quality hummus. You know, it's what's there.
Like weirdly fluffy.
It is fluffy.
Sabra. Weird.
Yeah.
I would buy it sometimes and eat it. It's not the best.
The problem is with Sabra, in my opinion, it's only good for the first 2 days.
For some reason, like, when you eat this Sabra shit, it just feels so much heavier. Imagine eating a whole fucking vat of Sabra. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never liked hummus.
I don't think I've ever finished the whole thing of Sabra, I'll be honest. I've never finished the whole thing of Sabra hummus, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, okay.
Well, you hate Jews then.
I don't.
And Arabs.
Yeah.
This is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you.
Not gonna lie, I don't like hummus at all and didn't know what Sabra was, so I don't have the context for how it's coded racism. Yeah, Sabra is considered a really shitty hummus. And also I think they're like a company that like openly supports Israel. So when you say that somebody is like that they love Sabra, it's like it's a coded way of saying that they're they're a Zionist Jew, right? That's the whole way to put it. Really, it's just a hummus, but they're giving it power. They're giving the term power.
You can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all
They're saying that like Jewish people have a bad taste in hummus.
related to a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing.
So if Diesel says like Frito-Lay salsa con queso, it's coded language.
He can have that discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because we all know his intentions aren't anti-Semitic.
This is what he did. He hit his heart hard.
The Zionism is leading to not accepting other cultures, embracing their own culture, and instead thinking that that is an attack on you. There's this incident on the podcast where they were reacting to Cutie Cinderella, and Ethan was laughing during it. So that ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of
Oh my god. Oh.
Psychology in Seattle. And Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology.
What happened with Cutie Cinderella? I think that was during the AI porn thing. Remember when H3H3 got caught gooning? And then he went on stream to apologize? And then Cutie Cinderella reacted and she was crying. Oh boy. Oh boy.
This is
Yeah, I streamed about it a long time ago. Someone on a crew played a sound while she was crying and it made Ethan laugh.
is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella a perfect score? A perfect 10.
A perfect 10 out of 10?
Literally 10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to make a
Right.
good apology. I'm the
Right.
best at
10
it.
out of 10.
I know what a perfect apology is.
Dude, an apology rater? Listen, man. I gotta be honest, you don't need a PhD to rate apologies. I base my apology rating solely off of vibes.
Lady.
I'm a vibes-based apology rater.
You fucking don't.
Yeah, professional psychologists need to stop weighing in on YouTube beef. Yeah, I agree.
Is my perfect apology in this PowerPoint? Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10.
This one is actually best apology, so.
Ethan Klein, you guys, oh my God.
I was trying really hard to think about an impactful moment during this video. Like,
Can we rate Ian's apology?
I do something that would really wake Ethan up. And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying.
Wait, so you went to go see a psychologist to change your grade on Ethan, to change Ethan's grade? What? That's insanely... That's fucking weird.
Ethan's grade changed from an A to...
That's fucking weird. Hey, psychiatrist, I need you to reevaluate your opinion because this guy's been saying things on the internet that I don't like. Are you fucking crazy? That's mental illness.
To a B at least.
I know, kind of hilarious. The guy agreed to it. Dude, takes two to tango. What the fuck?
So I went to visit psychology in Seattle.
There's no way that anybody could sit down and talk about this psychology in Seattle fucking guy and go like, oh yeah, he sounds like a credible source. Are you fucking kidding me?
Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying. And, you know, we might...
This is like an Always Sunny bit where like one of them gets rated really like healthy by a psychologist and then they all go trying to explain how crazy the guy is.
Learn a thing or two.
Xander! Probably get pretty low marks.
Dude, Ian's showing him a bunch of clip chimps now? Are you fucking kidding me?
Unlike me, perfect score, 10. I said, hey, Lud, no wig drama. Why are you such a spineless coward of a person now that you've inserted yourself and your girlfriend into this conversation?
Okay, Idubbbz, I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request. I understand it. I can understand where it's coming from. And I guess have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good...
I cannot believe that you're trying to... You literally sent clip chimps to a psychologist to what? To try and reevaluate a guy you used to be friends with? That's fucking just disgusting.
Good person that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize, and I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Oh, who is this fucking quack?
Father, this guy stinks!
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade, but that's
It's a little ridiculous that you went to do that anyway. I can't tell if it's a bit or not. Yeah, I know.
okay, because this is the internet. Anyone can have their own official apology rating system. So I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-. That's just based on my own feelings and my own...
Why keep that in the video? I can't even tell if that was a bit or not, dude. What the fuck was that insane bullshit behavior, dude?
rubric. When Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug.
Definitely a bit. Feels like the kind of shit I would have eaten up as a kid if it was done like to a Leafy. I guess it just it feels it feels incongruent with the current character that Ian presents himself to the internet.
He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. I think something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops that I think should have been. And
Thank you for that, Andrea. I appreciate it. And it's very helpful in these trying times.
Probably wouldn't have left me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid. But I also think, at the end of the day, we should acknowledge that he's human, because he is human.
Like, be an evil goblin or be a decent person. He's trying to be both. Well, nobody ever wants to be perceived as, like, the bad person. Nobody ever wants to be told by other people on the internet that they're a shitty person and you make other people's lives miserable. Nobody ever wants to think that. Right? Like, I realize that sometimes, like, I'll put out a video and, like, I could hurt a person's life. Like, I'm completely aware of that. Right? I don't think I'm a bad person, but I understand that other people might think I'm a bad person. You just got to feel justified in your behavior as an individual. But it does really feel like Ian's trying to have his cake and eat it too. It's almost like I don't even know if it's like a not genuine, but it feels like, I don't know, it feels incongruent. I think that's just the best way I could put it.
And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive. And
yeah, well, I'm sure this video is not going to actually help any of those things, actually. I think this will just make it worse.
I'm sure other features and feelings. In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him.
Yeah, the commentary community is full of slap fights. It's really annoying that Ian is pretending he's above it. That happens with a lot of guys where they get big and then they pretend they're above it. Like I said, I think it's trolls remorse. So,
because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on
I don't believe a single word coming out of this broad's mouth.
the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big...
I think if the camera was off, you'd be like, I hate that K word, okay? It's okay to hate people sometimes, but I don't believe this for a single fucking second.
reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this journey to leave.
I don't even know who you are.
Behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy...
That guy has got a pineapple-shaped head. I don't even know who this guy is either. He feels a little too old for the Zoomer perm, though.
Being silly, when you are...
Yeah, Denham's platform people accusing Ethan of neglecting his child.
Are being lighthearted and just having fun with your friends. I think that is when...
Dude, he's like the white Grubhub guy.
You're at your best. So I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
What is this both sides bullshit? Oh, boy.
I will be reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be the sports for good that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations.
This is actually wildly insane.
For me to start creating content, so all this has stung. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
You put up with this video way longer than I would have. You deserve this, boss.
Dude, I almost didn't stream tonight. I'm fucking tired. I'm a working boy and I'm eepy.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good.
Yeah, dude, you're being sued by him. You don't need to say anything nice about him.
And I think
I don't expect any of these people. I don't think they need to say anything nice about him. Why? Like, why? It's like gun to their head. Why are you saying something nice about him, dude?
he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago, fighting that.
Dude, this guy doesn't like Ethan at all. This guy doesn't like Ethan at all. Just say that I don't like you, dude. I'm sorry, but if some guy was suing me, I would have nothing but bad things to say about him. But my lawyer would advise me not to.
That frivolous lawsuit, that was pretty fucked up. And fighting it, you know, he changed YouTube for the better. And I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Elon. Like,
oh my god. All right, listen, man, if you're going to do a takedown video on somebody, you can't pull punches like this. You can't pull punches. You gotta knuckle down, grit your teeth, and go, someone's going to get hurt today, and I'm going to be the one to do it. But here you are, and you are in tears.
like, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking.
Yeah, I feel like these are fake olive branches. These are fake olive branches, dude. This is insane.
Partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense.
Dude, Ian, you can't be the guy who makes a content cop and then cries and talks about your partner. You can't. You can't do that. This is the kind of weakness that the internet is just going to devour you on. Okay? It's the kind of weakness that has happened.
And die.
Thank you.
What do we do? Argue with you?
For troubles.
I appreciate it.
This is to give them some sort of weird plausible deniability that they don't hate Ethan himself, they just hate his opinions.
Yeah. That's really it. That's really it. I've always said that sometimes you could just be a hater for the love of the game, man. You don't need to justify it with something outrageous. Sometimes people don't fuck with people. Like I'm flabbergasted that this is a moment happening, right? Because you can't be that guy, right? Ethan has gotten shit because he's shown weakness with his relationship online, right? So he like his wife is there and blah blah blah, and he comes out and he's defending his wife, and people latch onto that and then immediately attack that. This is the same thing that happened with you, Ian. So you're doing it again. Like this just opens up an avenue of attack on you.
That doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And I have been kind of slipping into
Jesus. Of course, Ian returns to Concept Cop and has him crying at the end over people trolling him and his wife. I don't.
A very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get
just shat on him the whole video, and he's extending an olive branch. Yeah, it's gonna definitely work out.
Criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more hold up. A feeling of almost infallibility that I could take anything on. It led me to make a lot of mistakes. And then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty and not really process.
How will this affect psychology in Seattle's legacy? That is the question.
Them in a healthy way.
That was a video. That was a video. Oh, but no Hasan. Yeah, Hasan's the one that matters, man. Not those other fucking guys. Like, Jesus. Fuck. Did you guys see Dan Henschel's tweet about him hanging himself as Jesus when he met a conservative? That was not a good video, dude. That was not a good video. There were some things I agreed with, other things I didn't like agree with. But like I just feel like the overall delivery of it did not land in the way that was expected. It just there was a lot of just cringe. I feel like you can't cry, like you can't swing on people and cry as you do it. You just can't. It's just how commentary or those types of videos work. You can't do that, right? You can't have trolls remorse and then put on the outfit again. It's just very, you just can't. The last 5 minutes basically poured the whole video down the drain. Yeah, I think he should have just stuck to being kind of rude to Ethan. I mean, I would have been like, eh. Like it just would have been more cohesive. Like the thesis statement of it would have been much better if there wasn't like this forced apology from a few of the guys. Meanwhile, at the start of the video, he's sitting there going, with Frogan and Denims and all them dick fuckers, okay? Like I just, you know, man, if you're gonna be a hater, you gotta commit. You gotta whole hog it. Like it's just how it is. Yeah, it's literally a cry bully. Yeah, yeah. It was not that was no fucking content cop comeback. That is for sure. No funny bits, no funny jokes, no little music, no nothing. It was boring commentary video. We've all seen it before. Breadtuber video essay disguised as content cop. I honestly, I mean, like, you know, I'll say it, guys. I'll illegally watch Creator Clash, but that's about it. We could have had a Dr. Disrespect content cop. That would have been fucking Kino. Okay? Because he would have had a moment on stream for sure. I was kind of hoping it would be on one of the Predator Hunter guys. Because those guys are getting pretty ridiculous. I know that would have been like an easy one. But you know, I think it, you know, it could have been something there. But yeah. I can't wait to relitigate all the Creator Clash stuff. Yeah, start with the easy ones. Easy wins, man. Easy fucking wins. Right? You build a reputation again. If you break down your reputation, you should take easy fights so that way you can start building it up again. You know? You get knocked off the pedestal, you got to start from ground zero, baby. You take all those fights. I hate that people forgot about him losing the charity money. Well, you know, they say the internet is forever, but everybody's got ADHD, so they keep forgetting. Gosh. I totally expected more people to, like, be mad in my chat covering this. You know how many times I said, I don't want to cover this, chat? You know how many times I had said this, that I wasn't going to cover this? Ground Zero, like Metal Gear Solid? The internet did give us ADHD. I have Twitter open right now, actually, while I'm streaming at the same time. That's how bad it is. I need to stop. I always need to, like, close down Twitter. I need to log out of Twitter so that way I don't scroll it endlessly. But, now you can never cover it again. Yeah, I don't really plan on covering this again. This was like a one-off. A gooner. Nah, not today. Not yet. I was too tired. But, like, shit. Give a child lock timer on your Twitter. I do actually have a child lock timer on my Twitter. I have a plugin that like times me for how long I'm on distracting sites, and then it stops me from accessing the site because I'm trying to keep control of my, you know, mental faculties and shit. Too tired to goon. Who are you? God. Yeah, man. I just feel like that was like it was really like Lord Almighty. What if Jesus was purple? God. But yeah, man, that was a video. I have the I have Miss Anthropony's old videos, courtesy of the ops. So I'm probably gonna do that eventually. What's today? Wednesday? Well, now it's Thursday, but I think D&D got canceled this Thursday. So I might be able to stream tomorrow, assuming I don't fucking fall asleep again. But we'll see. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, Melon stream next week, chat. Melon stream next week. But I'm going to bed. What's your character like in D&D? I am playing a dwarf right now. After I finished with my last guy. So I played a campaign to level 20, and now we're starting again. But I play an Australian in my Cyberpunk game on Thursdays. I play Hammerhead. Yeah, mate. Oh, I'm out here jorking it and gooning it, eating shrimp on the barbie. Stealing Aussie Valor. All right, Sheilas. You all have a good night.